Yes, that's right. Patroncast number 36 is here. This is the third trip around the sun for the Patroncast. Next month, we will be celebrating the 3-year anniversary of the Patroncast. And here we are live on Tuesday night, March 28th, after a very busy week where I got to see so many of the patrons in New York for our live show. And here we are taking your phone calls once again for the 36th month in a row, ready to go. And we've got that number up on the screen, 1-857-232-0157. And then you got a conference code right down here, 267-453. We've got people calling in, a lot of people on hold already. And it would help if I started recording this podcast. So I should do that. We've got a lot of people on hold already. We've got the link in the chat for you guys to check out as well, which is going to allow you to come into the Google Hangout if you want to do that. If you think you're up for it, make sure that your mic is off when you come in or muted. And then when I bring you on, we can go ahead and do that. A lot of excitement in the patron group these days about the big Toronto event coming up. We're going to be up there for a couple of nights. We're going to be doing our live show for Survivor Know-It-Alls on the 10th. Do a Big Brother Canada show on the 11th with the LFC, and hopefully get some Big Brother Canada people as well for that show. If you are a patron, you can go ahead and start getting those tickets. Easiest way to go is go to robhasawebsite.com/tickets. That'll bring up an Eventbrite page. You want to switch from past events to either current events or live events, whatever they call it. And then you can get the events for both of those. So check that out as well. Those links are not available to the Gen Pop yet. To all the casual RHAP listeners, we haven't gotten those links out there to them yet. So go ahead and check those out. It's a hot ticket so far. All right. So many people are calling in and want to come on board. So let's just go ahead and start hitting these phone lines. Then we'll get into some hangout calls. A man who was in New York with us last week, one of the contest winners that got to be at Podcast House 3 with us last week. John is on the line. John, are you there?
I'm here, Rob. How are you?
John, how you doing after the trip to New York?
Oh, I'm recovering splendidly from it.
Good. Here you are. You beat Edmo to the punch, first caller of the night. And so, John, Johnny D, that's what they're calling in the chat. Is that a new nickname?
Yeah, I sure hope not.
Okay. All right, John. So
I definitely do not want that.
So what's going on? What do you want to talk about?
I really was just going to talk about Toronto and see kind of like what your early, gut feelings are on how you think it's going to go, who you think is going to show up, how hard it was to schedule everything. Just let you wing it for a few minutes.
Sure. So the Toronto thing really has been talked about for a while. I had said I wanted to do something in Canada. We talked about Toronto. Scott St. Pierre was really pushing for a Vancouver show as well. Ron from Toronto really did make a very strong case about why we should go to Toronto. And I've been working very closely with Angie Kantz on getting everything booked. Of course, Angie is also another Toronto resident. And we went back and forth with like comedy clubs, and we came very close to booking like a movie theater. So we were looking at some sort of like non-traditional places to host the event. And then ultimately we ended up with Angie saying, look, let's try a hotel, and let's try to book it like a hotel conference room or like a hotel conference room. It's sort of like a ballroom where they would have sort of like a big meeting. So that's ultimately where we went to. And because that, hotels don't normally do this sort of thing where you rent a room to watch a TV show, there was a lot of questions about the AV setup. So we sort of like were spending a lot of time explaining what we wanted to do. And that's ultimately where we ended up landing on that. In terms of the response, I mentioned it on the Survivor Live Know-It-Alls. Since then, I've just been bombarded with people on Twitter, emailing me out of the blue, I really need tickets. I'm in Toronto. I'm so excited. How do I get these tickets? And so the event is really is selling very well right now. I mean, right now we've only mentioned it to the patrons, and just taking a look at it right now, just from you guys, you greedy patrons, I bet 183 tickets,
200
of 183 tickets so far have been sold, and we haven't even mentioned this to this link to the general public yet. And this is about 24 hours since I put this up. So the patrons were on it. This is definitely going to be a sellout. Not as big of a response yet for Big Brother Canada. So hopefully, I think that will eventually end up being a sell. I think that that's going to end up being more of a thing of like the people on the street. Like that might even be a thing where if you're not even a big RHAP listener, but we're going to get some Big Brother Canada people out there for that. People will want to come out and see them. So I think that, we could get even some casuals out there for that. But people are very excited for the Know It All show in particular. In terms of the survivors that are gonna be there, I'm not sure exactly who's gonna be there. There was some rumors that Brett LaBelle could not get enough at the last one, so we'll see if anybody from that sort of like northern corridor or northeast corridor might be able to make it up to join us as well. So nobody is in pen yet for survivors. I probably would imagine that it's going to be not a huge turnout of survivors, but we'll make up for that on the Big Brother side on the Thursday night. What do you think of that, Johnny D?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm actually pretty excited to see which BB Can people are going to show up. I know that, John Party and Godfrey and Sarah Hanlon and some other people are out there.
Yeah.
Whether they know about it or showing up, I don't know. But.
Yeah. So I had been, telling Jordan, I sent him an email like, I really need your help on getting the word out to these people. So I have a feeling that we're not going to be able to keep these people away, but again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. I think it should be a fun couple of days. I'm really looking forward. I'm just really blown away by the Survivor response. Like the fact that we could get. I'm sure the second we say that the tickets are out there on a live show, it's going to, go over the cliff here and sell out. So it's just exciting to, think that, here's a city that's not even like New York, where I feel like we have so much of our support to have like, just another city to be able to go to and have a sellout is really exciting.
Yeah, if I could actually make a recommendation to anybody who's going to Toronto for the first time, New York just this week was, or last week was my first Know It Alls, and outside of actually being in the room for the episode and for the live Know It Alls, the karaoke is by far like it's a must attend event.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you liked it so much. What was it so much about the karaoke that you thought was so great?
Well, and not that all RHAP fans are welcome, of course, but or not to that karaoke, but to everything. But seeing the people that like you talk to on the Facebook page, and you see them commenting or liking or whatever every single day, being able to actually look at them and say, hey, I know who you are, and meeting them and everything, even more so than at the live event. I think that's it's really fun, and and plus there was name tag, so it's easier to
helps.
Know who everybody
that helps
was.
too. And there's something also too about the crowd there. Like I had heard people mentioning this the other night, that like everybody was very well behaved at the show, and I just think that there's like a little bit of like it's you don't necessarily know everybody, but it is kind of like you're not necessarily like anonymous like in the rest of public society. You're basically like an egg person to everybody else, you could like have some like altercation
Oh, yeah.
with somebody on the subway and you never see them again. And, you know, people can be very rude. But I feel like that the fact that it's sort of like you don't necessarily know everybody, but, you know, you're going to maybe see these people again. I think everybody's just like very well behaved. And it was a really good energy, you know, at everything from that we did in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I definitely can agree that the rudest people there were the people I met trying to navigate the subway system for the first
Yeah,
time.
the other egg people in the mass transit system.
That was not fun.
Yeah. They could spot these tourists that they're like, oh boy, they would give this guy be really rude to him. I'm never gonna see him again.
I think my fanny pack gave it away.
The fanny pack, yeah, that's a tell. Yeah. Also, and welcome to. I'm sure we have a lot of new patrons that are on board. A lot of people. It seems to be, you know, a lot of times that people come out to the live shows and then they weren't patrons before and they come on board because they met all of you guys at different events. So welcome aboard to all of the new patrons who are here. That this is their first Patroncast this month, and I definitely recommend going back into the archives. We have a lot of fun Patroncasts, Patron 5 for 5s along the way. Johnny D, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. So let's keep going. Got a lot of calls to get to tonight, but great seeing you last week, and looking forward to seeing you next month. Or no, 2 months. 2 months. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, I'll call you in a month.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Take care, John. Bye. All right. All right. Let's go to caller number 2 here on the Patroncast. He's been on hold since our sound check, and here he is, raring to go. Tyler Kakuno, the only Canadian that people say isn't nice. Here he is. Tyler, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. How are you, buddy?
doing good, Tyler. What's going on?
Not much. Just homework, pretty much.
Homework. Okay.
For you.
What's the deal with homework? It's not like you're working on your home, right?
It's hilarious. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on, Tyler? You want to talk about Big Brother Canada? You want to talk about Ozzy? What do you want to talk about?
Well, just so you know, I'm doing through a pretty good shot. I'll be going to Toronto with you guys in May. We're gonna meet.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you went to Vancouver though.
All right. Well, look, there'll be other know-it-alls.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I kind of want to talk like Big Brother Canada. It's fun and all, but I kind of wanted to talk Survivor with you quickly.
Great.
I'm glad you chose Oz as your winner pick.
Yes.
You know, I'm glad you and I were getting on the same page with things. We're starting to see how the game's going.
It's scaring me. It's scaring me, Tyler.
Rob, I make accurate predictions.
Yeah. What else did you predict?
Well, in Big Brother Canada?
Well, I meant in life.
In life? Oh, in life, I'm horrible at predicting things. I always get it wrong. I'm only good at reality TV. That's it.
Okay.
I'm not good at anything.
Okay.
So who would you say is so far from the edit? Who do you think is winning Survivor?
I don't like to do the winner edit stuff. Too many people get upset about it, so I'd like to abstain if I can.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Can I tell you who can I make a prediction, or do you not want me to?
It's a prediction or it's a winner edit thing? Because people don't like. A lot of people don't like it bums people out, Tyler.
Well, I mean, I'm predicting from the edit. Like, it's just for me at this point. It's like why can't ignore it. Like when I'm.
Why don't you do it as a spoiler post
like,
in the patron group of like ... Tyler's winner pick based on winner edit, and then people can see more to see what it is.
I'm just so good at predicting it. It's basically a spoiler at this point.
Yeah. Why don't you give us your winner edit pick on Big Brother Canada?
All right. Well, judging from the edit of Big Brother Canada, I kind of still want to leave. Like, I think Gary is in trouble. coming in next week. But I think if he can get past the next couple weeks, which I think he can. I don't think he's like dead in the water. I think Gary still. I think of how they're editing the show. They are editing Gary to be the favorite, and being the favorite in Big Brother Canada is so important.
Yeah.
And it does sound like production wants them to do well and win, which is really big in Big Brother Canada. He's proving to be social. He's a physical player. I could still see him winning.
I do think he could emerge as sort of like the leader of like the ragtag bunch of newbies. I could see that.
I feel in danger for him because he's not in that core 6 yet, and like he's a big guy. Other than him, I don't know. I want to say like maybe Kevin, maybe Bruno, but I just feel like they're not going to make it to the end. I think they're going to be cut near the end because people know like there's these smart guys near the end and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll go with Gary. Yeah.
All right. We'll see. We'll see. That I feel like if I had to say, I'm loving where Kevin and Bruno are right now. I think Netta. I think they made too big of a move here at this. Like I know that I understand all the reasons why she's making a good move, but I think it's just the third week being the MVP is not really where you want to be.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know Netta went in with a big reputation, getting this free jury pass.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when you're like a 5'2", 100-pound girl. And if you just stay quiet for those 6 weeks, I feel like people just naturally forget that you're a threat, and you can easily go back under the radar.
She did it perfect last time. I don't know why she's getting away from what worked so well for her the last time, but
exactly. Like one thing didn't work last time. Now she's like throwing away like the whole system pretty much, which I think is foolish of her.
Okay. So,
I might see you in Toronto in May. We'll do a Jaeger bomb together.
Okay. Are you legal in Canada? That's you can drink.
Yeah, I'm 20 years old.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
It's 19.
Okay. All right. TK.
I didn't know you're just a stickler for the law.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get an international incident. I don't want to give get the police not holding me in detention because I'm giving alcohol to minors.
Canadian prison is like an American motel.
All right. Good. You can let me know one day. All right, Tyler, take care, buddy. Okay.
All right. You have a good night, buddy.
All right. Take care. Bye. All right. So let's do 2 voice calls. Let's do a hangout call. All right. Let me bring up Kirsten. I think she was the first one under the wire here with us on a hangout. Kirsten, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Hi.
Kirsten, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Kirsten, is it true that you too are making it out to Toronto?
That's the current plan. Time off approved. I bought tickets. Just need to buy a plane ticket. So East Coast, I guess. Not East Coast, Central Canada, but whatever.
Whatever. Okay. Great. Kirsten, so what's going on?
So this is the question that I wanted Edmo to ask you guys at Podcast House, and he said, no, I don't have any questions. What is your favorite Cindy dances to that you've seen so far?
Well, I haven't watched them on social media. I just saw the ones in the video. I guess what Call Me Maybe, that's the one that's the best one.
That's one Leon likes. I liked when they did it to Justin's pizza song.
Yeah, I haven't been watching all of the Cindy dance videos.
Are you saying you have more important things to do than watch Cindy dance videos? I don't understand.
Well, in fairness, I think that a lot of them came out when I was, in my trip to New York. So I didn't have as much time on my hands as I normally do to watch Cindy dancing videos.
Yeah, I'm not sure when they kind of stopped coming out, which is a real disappointment because it's the star.
Yeah. What about Dylan dances videos? Do you like those?
No. Okay. Dylan is the worst. Every moment that Dylan is on my TV screen is a moment I want to turn off my TV. And his heavy breathing. He sounds like Darth Vader. Oh, I hate him. I hate him so much.
Yeah. Wow. So you're killing Dylan.
He's awful. And then there's so much important things happening right now. And then they waste 5 minutes of the show trying to make us like him. Nobody here cares about boxing. He's the worst. Just stop. Can he go home yesterday, please?
Yeah. Why? Who's your favorite? Cindy?
No. Oh my God. My favorite newbie is probably Dre. My favorite returnee is obviously Netta. So
Obviously, Netta. Okay.
obviously Netta. As if there's another choice.
Okay. I think there's a lot of other people that like, I think you could be Team Cass.
I love Cass, but it's hard right now. So
Yeah. Edmo says Ica, Team Ica.
No, Emma's wrong.
All right. Kirsten, anything else you want to talk about?
Is Bruno still your winner pick?
Well, I think that by default, I think he might be. If I had to pick between Bruno and Kevin right now, if I had a chance to pick one person, I think I might go back. I might go more Kevin than Bruno. But I really love where those two guys are right now. I wish that Neto was in the position that those guys are in.
Yeah, that would be a little bit nicer for everyone, but oh well.
Yeah.
This is what we have. This is what you get with a half and half season.
It's going to be exciting. I think it's been for any. I think this might be the best half and half season of any of these shows that we've watched. How about that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Probably.
Very exciting. Okay. All right, Kirsten. Great to see and hear you, and looking forward to the genuine article in Toronto.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. All right. All right. Take care, Kirsten.
Bye. Yeah, take care. Bye.
Okay. All right. Let's see who's up next. This is going to be somebody from the 347 area code. 347. Are you there?
Good evening, Robert.
Yes. Who's this?
The Rocket.
Oh, Edmo.
Edward.
Yes, Edmo the Rocket.
I was dying at that question at the end of the interview.
Yeah, when I asked Dallas, what is a rocket? Why is Arissa a rocket? Yeah, she said, he said, because she's hot.
Dying at that.
Because she's so hot. There you go. Edmo, how was seeing the Happy Hour in person at Podcast House 3?
It was good until I got thrown under the bus.
By who? By Kirsten?
By you!
Well, when I throw you under the bus?
Oh, you don't have any questions if you were sitting at home? You have 20 questions.
Hey, that was a good line, Edmo. That's not thrown under the bus.
I don't know about that.
Now, did you think that Alex Kidwell was being bullied? And what was your take in the first person watching that?
It was just fun because Karen and Jordan were getting kicks. Alex was getting kicks. Everyone was cracking up, so I thought all was good. Okay. All right, so good. I want to make sure that was not a thing from your first person account. Alex Kidwell, # was not bullied that night. All right, so Edmo, what's going on? My question is, any good behind the scenes stories from the Know-It-All that people didn't know about, or things that happened that didn't get captured?
I'm trying to think. I feel like if anything, you guys have probably better behind the scenes stories than I have with anything. Like for the show, I really just was like running around. I was very nervous for the live show because the capacity at Caroline's, I think, is 325. And I had, I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of, at one point, I think that I had sold 315 tickets for the show. And then, a day of, I had some cancellations. I think we're down to like 303 confirmed tickets sold. But my guest list with the survivors and everything, and I have family members, and Steven has some people that are on his guest list. We had 30 people total on the guest list. And then I had this big Podcast One table that was coming. That Podcast One's sales team came and they brought a bunch of advertising executives to the show. And so I had 350 people that were coming to the show, and I was just very nervous about the capacity in the room. And I was very concerned that the club was going to tell me okay, you're over capacity, you need to make people leave. And I was very worried that was going to be the case. And it was just the room was getting filled. And then there was a big table for these Podcast One executives that were coming. And then they didn't come until right before the end of the show. So I was just sort of very nervous about that. But other than that, everything was fine. Everybody was on their best behavior. The survivors were all fun that were in attendance. I don't know if I have any sort of fun behind the scenes story. I went to dinner with Stephen Fishback, which was very nice. Got a chance because we didn't want to talk about Survivor. Had a nice chance to catch up with the knowingness know-it-all, and it was all very fun. And I got to hang out with my brother a lot that night, so it was good.
Yeah, it was nice meeting your brother. Thank you for introducing me.
No problem. My brother is a great guy. I mean, he is much more of a social butterfly, where he's just like his whole life is all about hanging out with his bros on Long Island. And he's always just going around with all of his different friends, and he went to Cancun last month with 15 guys, and it was the day of the blizzard, and his flight got canceled, and he just spent the whole day drinking at JFK Airport. He's a crazy man, my brother.
And also, Rob, next time you give me any advice before the show, you got to give me a signal so I know when to come up with the chair.
Okay, yes, to bash Steven, or at least come in and start whispering things to his ear like JT did to Brad Culpepper. That would have been good. Or maybe if anything, that once Billy Garcia starts talking crazy, then you can come up with the steel chair.
So hit Billy Garcia or hit Steven?
Billy Garcia. And I guess the one funny thing is that Billy Garcia was not on my guest list for that show. Not that I would have said no if he told me he was going to come, but Billy Garcia did pull the Baylor and Missy of that he was going to be the guy who. Let me see if I have it.
Show up, and we'll just show up.
Yeah. Oh, Billy, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were coming to this. So he's but he that a lot of people he brought his A game, his A material. Billy Garcia, I think he did the same material at the last know-it-alls, but he's ready to go.
He needs to stay away from a live microphone.
Yeah. Also, an interesting note. If you go on the YouTube page, this is a fascinating phenomenon. If you take a look at the YouTube page for the video from the event, we posted the video, a newer version of the video over the weekend. 25% of the comments are people in kind of broken English, talking about how Billy Garcia is the best. And Billy Garcia needs more time at the next know-it-alls. And I don't know if this is some sort of a Joey Rodriguez type situation, but there are a surprising number of people that they watched the video and their comment was, Billy Garcia is the best. He's so funny and he needs more time at the next live show. So it's a bizarre phenomenon. Yeah. A lot of people had the same takeaway from that video. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's alternative facts for sure.
All right, Edmo, you ready for opening day?
I'm ready for opening day. I'm ready for WrestleMania. I'm ready for everything.
Yeah, it's all happening. All right. Edmo, good talking to you, buddy.
It was nice seeing you, Rob. I'll see you in Toronto in a few weeks.
Okay, it's happening. The international incident is coming.
I know, and then Kirsten's going to try and snatch my wig too, but that ain't happening.
Not going to happen. Not on my watch. Okay? All right. Take care, Edmo.
Okay, Rob.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night.
Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Edmo is really slacking. Fourth caller of the night. Usually that he's up and at him. Got to get up out of bed earlier if you want to get that first caller. All right, let's try this next call. This is the 417
Abby.
Okay, 417 area code. Abby, are you there?
Hello.
Abby, how are you?
Hey, Rob.
How's it going?
Good. I'm doing great. How about yourself? Sounds like a fun know-it-alls that I missed out on.
Yes, we had a lot of fun in New York, and looking forward to doing it again in a couple of weeks. And I feel very good. I did not get taken ill way back like last time. I didn't get like a terrible cold or anything. So I really feel like it was mind over matter on this. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine, and everything worked out.
Good, good. Well, Maureen had invited me to go. It was my spring break, but we had to go skiing with the family, so I had to miss out.
Yes. Okay. Well, how was skiing?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I can't complain about that. We had beautiful weather and everybody had a great time. But I was watching all the Facebook posts, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was a great time, and we had a lot of fun with Maureen there in all week in New York. So what's going on?
Well, I was curious about something. My main question is that, now that more contestants are aware of RHAP and are, even big fans of RHAP, how are you handling them being a part of, the patron and of the patrons and being like in the Facebook group? I think a while back, I think I remember you saying something about Kelly Wentworth being in the patron group, and I don't remember if maybe you had asked her to remove herself, but I'm just wondering if there are now players that are clamoring to be, in the group.
Yeah. So the policy that I've had is if you were on board beforehand, if you were like, let's say Edmo goes on Survivor next season, okay, I'm not going to kick him out of the patron group or anything like that.
Okay.
He can stay, but let's say that, some, Johnny come lately goes on, Survivor 35 and then is like, I love, this is a good Survivor podcast. Let me go ahead and then I'll get in good with these people. Then I'll say, with all due respect, I feel like that this is a little weird of a situation, and I'd have to say no. So if somebody's already part of the community, I'm not going to kick somebody out at that point. But if they are somebody who wants to join the community after they've gone on a show, then it's sort of like a weird thing where it's like, hey, I'd love to podcast with you. I'd love, let's do stuff together. Like if David Wright was like, hey, I want to join the patron group. I'd say I think that's a little bit of it's a little weird.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well,
and Jordan Parhar is really Jordan Parhar is really the testimonial on this, where he was a patron, longtime listener to the show. He went on Big Brother and then, remained a patron.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I was thinking, it can get awkward when people are talking about you and your gameplay and all that. And, a lot of times we're talking about, them in maybe not so flattering light, whereas I think, you try to be a little bit more diplomatic when you're interviewing them or talking to them, that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like in the Facebook group too. I think that people say things in the Facebook group that they don't necessarily want, the person to be reading or something like that. Like, I feel like that there's like a little bit of some, not necessarily anonymity, but at least a little bit of privacy from like writing something that, you could subtweet a little bit in the patron group, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just curious about that because I know that there's, quite a few people in the patron group that have, submitted applications and things like that. So I just wondered how you were handling that.
Yes. And I want them all to make it onto the show. I'm always very excited when anybody from our little community ends up being somebody who goes on one of these shows. It's always whether it's somebody who's podcast with me or I don't know if we've had that yet. Or somebody who, even like with Nick Majorano writing the blogs, or somebody who's even just a fan of the show. It's always, really exciting for me to see somebody who's like heard our conversations, then go and be out on the show.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. Well, thanks. I'll let somebody else jump in, but I just wanted to say, hey.
Okay. All right. And give my best to Travis. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, take care. Bye. All right.
Thanks, Rob. Bye.
All right. There you go. All right. So let's jump back into a one of our Kevin. I know he was on pretty early. Kevin, you want to jump in here? Unmute.
Hello.
Kevin, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, hear you great.
Oh boy, this is exciting.
Okay.
I haven't been on one of these in like good 4 months. Been grinding away, school, work, everything in between. So.
All right. So here you are, Kevin. You have 4 months to get ready for this. What do you want to talk about?
Well, so I was going back in the off season and listening to some of the Survivor podcasts from way back in the day. Like I went back and listened to the infamous Dan Lembo exit interview, among other things, just because I was like very bored. And I noticed this season you were talking about how with the Tony and the Malcolm exit press that those both got like extended by CBS.
Yeah.
How often does that happen, if at all? And was that like just like they've just wanted to keep talking with you? What was the logistics with that?
So in terms of like the Tony interview, see, this is what, and I'm guessing a little bit, and it's there's a different person who's handling the exit press this season than the previous seasons, where that it all has to do with their schedule. Like sometimes I think that there may not be another call before me this season, so sometimes they will call in early. And then they will be like, they'll call in like 5 minutes early. And what I'm guessing, and I don't know, is that they say to them just from like going through it, okay, the next thing is Rob has a podcast at 9:30. Do you want to take a break for 5 minutes, or do you want me to see if Rob's available now? And so that. I suspect in the case of Tony and Malcolm that they said, oh, let's call now. And then they'll let me know, you have like until the end of your regular time. So they're calling early, and then we have some regular time. That was the case with Malcolm. I think in the case with Tony, I was starting to wrap up with Tony, and Tony was like, hey, Rock and Rob, we got more time. And so we had some bonus time. And so we were able to go a little bit longer on the back end. And again, it really comes down to what they have scheduled next. They're like locked into a schedule. So if they're ahead of schedule, they may call me early, or depending on what's going on after me, they may be able to, if they don't have another call until say 9:45 or whatever it is, like in terms of what I don't know how they build out the schedule. That's really what it comes down to. And really the only other person that requested the bonus time in the past was Troyzan way back when, and he's like, come on, we got more time, and they're like, all right, we'll let it go, and so we had like a longer one, but I always appreciate it, because CBS could just be like, look, it's a break for me too. I don't want to be sitting on the phone listening to the same story over and over again.
And side note, I think your Troyzan impression is one of your best impressions of the people on the season. It's a half-assed impression, but it's pretty on point.
It is so funny. I love when
he's a little devil, that one.
We really we had it really going in the evolution strategy, and I sort of half-assed it because Josh does it better, and the crowd goes wild. He really does. Was cracking me up in the One World Evolution Strategy. That was one where it was just like when there wasn't something going on with Kim, like we were just very wacky all the way through.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. I'm not gonna defend my girl like John wants me to do. She's playing pretty dreadfully on the season. So,
but you say she's good on the feeds.
Yeah, she's great on the feeds. I love watching her. There's no real dispute there. It's just she's not playing a good game, so she's gonna go home.
Okay.
And Kevin's gonna win. So.
Are you talking in the third person?
No, I'm talking in the Kevin Martin is going to win Big Brother Canada 5.
Okay.
Mainly because he has a good name, but also because he's playing really well.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, not really. Just glad to hear everybody enjoyed the know-it-alls last week, and excited to see how BB Can goes and how Survivor keeps going. And yeah.
Okay. All right, should be fun. And don't forget, hey, the Amazing Race is coming back this week.
Oh, I've been waiting with bated breath all my life for this moment.
Yeah. Well, and since we're talking about the Amazing Race and exit interviews, that I have to make a decision. I have to get back to CBS about if I want Amazing Race exit press. And I was saying to Scott right before we came on, I'm sort of like on the fence about it, and I was leaning more towards maybe passing on doing the exit press for the Amazing Race, just because of the timing that these shows are going to be on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. This week, I will have a podcast with Jessica Leese. We will have that in the main Rob Has a Podcast feed. But then we're going to shift that, like we're doing with Big Brother Canada, to the RHAP Ups and the Amazing Race feed of RHAP following that. And I just don't, I already do a Big Brother Canada exit interview on Friday morning. I do the voicemails a lot on Fridays this season. And then to add on top of that, a Amazing Race exit interview. Like, I think that there could be a lot of weeks where I haven't even seen the Amazing Race by, 9:30 a.m.
Yeah. I'm not much of a big tar guy myself, but I don't really think that I think it would probably be a bit of a hassle for you, and I don't really think that the audience would be clamoring for it. So
yeah, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. Like, I'd like to see if they'll give me like the winner. Like, if I could do them for the finale, like the top 3 teams, I'd be interested in that. But they've also like historically been like really sloppy in terms of like, okay, it's like 2 people in separate locations on cell phones. One's at an airport, one has bad reception. And especially with these blind date people, they're not going to be in the same place. And although you could get to that, I do say that going back from the last blind date season, that there were some times where they didn't like each other after the game, and you got some shade going back and forth. I'm talking about Kurt and Bergen. I think that was probably a good exit interview.
Yeah.
But and between you and me, that they really have not ever performed well either, the Amazing Race exit interviews, in terms of the downloads. I could
buy that.
Yeah, I had said to Scott before we came on that I think that the best RHAP moment in the history of Amazing Race exit interviews was when Whitney and Keith didn't do one.
That's definitely true.
That's like the most memorable moment in the history of Amazing Race exit interviews. So we'll see.
You're saying the Jeff and Jackie exit interview didn't get a bump when they went on?
That was notable because they went on to go be on Big Brother, so that was interesting.
That's funny.
Yeah, and also I was recording it like sitting on the sidewalk in Las Vegas, and my phone overheated, and they had to call me back. So
that's funny.
That was something. All right. Well, Kevin, good stuff. And I hope for your sake that Cass can pull off the impossible.
It's not going to happen, but I'll pray for it, but it's not going to happen. But
yeah.
I'm resigned to the fact.
As they used to say on the Howard Stern show, F Jackie. Who needs her, right? I mean,
exactly.
Who would be sad this week if Jackie went out?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Great stuff. Take care, Kevin.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to the phones. Let's check in with the 847 area code.
Isabel?
Is it okay? Now this is Isabel?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I'm also in the Google Hangout.
Okay. Well, let's take you on. Well, let's take you in the Google Hangout then. You hung up now.
Sorry, I just quit out.
All right.
All right.
So you want to do the Google Hangout? I'll come back to you. Okay. I'll take one more call and I'll come back to you in the Google Hangout. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Great. All right. So a little bit of switching around, and let's go to
Austin.
Okay. Is this Austin?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, buddy?
It is going well.
Yes. All right. Austin, what's going on?
Well, I was going to ask you about Amazing Race.
Yes.
But,
are you excited?
Looks like you. I don't know if I'd say I'm excited. But
yeah.
It's something.
It'll be interesting to see. It just seems like that the network has really just like half-assed the rollout of this, in terms of like that they accelerated putting it on. They put it on in a time slot that I feel like that most people don't know when it's going to be on. It just seems like very rushed, and I'm very nervous about the future of this franchise.
Right. Like last fall, I remember hearing it was going to be taken off, and they just kind of tabled it for a while, and then it's just like all of a sudden now it's back, and it's like.
Yeah.
Seems like it came out of nowhere.
It was supposed to premiere, I believe, Friday night, April 21st or 22nd, and it was going to be on in the regular 8 o'clock time slot. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, guess what? It's going to be on in 2 weeks, and it's going to be on a Thursday night at 10 p.m. And we were 2 weeks away. They hadn't even announced what the cast was, which was really unprecedented. And now there's been a rollout, there's been press, there's been commercials on it, but 10 p.m. is like I don't know if like even Bachelor in Paradise is on that late. It's just like that is not a traditional reality TV time slot.
Yeah, I don't know who's watching it that late.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not even drawing that many live viewers when it's on in a good time slot. So
yeah. It'll be interesting to see if it wins that time slot. I don't know what else is on then, but it feels like that's like a time slot for like procedural drama. It'll be weird, but it's just like The Amazing Race. Traditionally, it's a family show. It's a show that old people watch. It's a show that like 8 o'clock it kicks off like a family hour of TV. To have it on Thursdays, which it's never, hasn't been on Thursdays in forever, and then also have it on 10 o'clock at night without that much hoopla, just really seems like a recipe for disaster.
So if you had to pick between covering Amazing Race and covering Hunted,
yeah,
which one would you prefer to see?
Well, I
don't know that they're necessarily like competing for the same spot.
Yeah.
But if one reality show is on its way out and we've got another one ready to slot in, which one do you think you prefer?
Am I sort of like picking which one gets renewed?
Yes. If you were Les Moonves.
Mm-hmm. I think I would give Hunted the shot rather than, because Amazing Race, it's sort of like I know what it is. There's no chance that Amazing Race 30 becomes like the breakout season of The Amazing Race, whereas Hunted, I could sort of talk myself into that it makes like the second year leap where we do like a big push and a big marketing push, and maybe even like we change up a game element, and possibly season 2 is bigger of Hunted than season 1, and maybe it goes from being sort of like an average show to maybe a top 15 show.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah. So I think there's more upside.
Amazing Race, like it's kind of run its course.
Yeah, literally and figuratively, I think.
What new thing are we gonna see from Amazing Race?
Yeah,
like at least with Survivor, like the dynamic is always different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Amazing Race doesn't have that same.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. How about this? If you were going to do Amazing Race 30, could you do like some sort of like celebrity Amazing Race and then have it come back? Like, I feel like that's sort of like the last like where The Apprentice was like on its last legs, and then they did Celebrity Apprentice, and then that had a run. I wonder if you could do like maybe like a shorter version. It would kill the show. But basically, this is the show is dead, and now we're going to do like some Frankenstein version of the show and bring it back, and then give it
as long as we get Arnold Schwarzenegger
and Patrick.
Race.
Me and my nephew Patrick, we're here to run the Amazing Race, and of course, this race is going to be extra amazing because we're on it.
That's what I want to see more than anything now.
Yeah,
now I got my hopes up.
Yeah. I think that if you were going to do it, if you're going to go into a pitch meeting and try to give us one good reason why we should do an Amazing Race 30, I feel like that if you could talk them into some celebrity edition, or even if it was like a fan and a celebrity, like almost like a Dancing with the Stars type model, like that might be interesting too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good stuff, Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have to keep an eye on your Mets this year.
Why is that?
So here's the thing. I live in Minnesota, and so I root for probably the worst team in the league. And so like more than 60 wins in a year is like a good season for them lately.
Yeah.
So your Mets are doing pretty well compared to that. So.
Yes. All right, but we went through some lean years also. You gotta, rebuild.
I suppose.
Build it back
well,
up.
Yeah, I'll let you get somebody else here. So.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, thanks again, Austin.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye. Okay.
Austin.
Oh. All right. So let's see, Isabel. Let's get you patched through here on the Hangout. Okay. Let's see if this is Isabel solo or if Stephanie is there too. Okay.
It's just me.
Just Isabel solo. Okay. How you doing?
I'm good.
Have you recovered from New York?
I am finally recovered. Next time, maybe Stephanie and I can do this together. You can see if you can guess who is who.
I could do it.
Yeah, I think you could. So yeah, first I wanted to say for an awesome first Know-It-Alls. Met a lot of awesome people, including your brother was awesome to talk to. Jen Manning was an incredible roommate.
Yes.
It was awesome to see Lee there from Hunted. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, Wilson.
Yeah, and I don't know, Humby, if you're listening, thanks for the insight advice. You were absolutely on point with everything.
Yeah. Just a funny Lee Wilson story, real quick. That when I was talking to my brother, like we were walking over to the after party from Caroline's, and I was like, Danny, that because my brother doesn't know anything from these reality shows. He has been watching Survivor the last couple seasons. I said, Danny, this guy was on Hunted, and he had to go on the run for 28 days, and he was like, oh, that's so weird because I was telling this guy in my office that I was going to the podcast. And that the guy that my brother's coworker said to him, like, hey, do you watch this show Hunted? It's crazy. There's a guy there that he does escape rooms on Hunted. And my brother had never even heard of what Hunted was. But the one thing that the guy in his office wanted to talk about was that there was a show called Hunted, and there was a guy who makes escape rooms that was on Hunted.
Yeah, I love that everyone was taking pictures at the newspaper with him. That was funny.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it was an awesome episode for the Know-It-Alls, just hearing the reaction from everyone during the whole thing as it was all unfolding. But I guess my question is, I don't know if this has been discussed on any of your podcasts. I haven't been exactly caught up, but how do you think it might have played out if, let's say JT was maybe sitting maybe more in the middle towards Brad, and had they not had to huddle, do you think that might have changed the outcome?
It's interesting in terms of like the positioning at the tribal council, because when they at least this is how it was when I would go, they would have like a chart, and then you would sort of line up, and they tell you, okay, Rob, you're here. Okay, Rob, you're here. Heidi, you're here. Butch, you're here. And it seemed like there was no like rhyme or reason in terms of that. But I do feel like that a lot of times the staging at the tribal council, if somebody is the swing vote, they will literally put them in the middle of the tribal council. Here, in this instance, while you had everybody from Mana on one side and everybody from Nuku on one side, Haley and JT really were not seated in the middle or seated in the middle at this tribal council. So it is odd. I don't know if it would have changed anything where if JT just sort of turned to Brad instead of like got up and walked over to him. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it would have actually changed something?
I don't think so. I think that they still would have played the auto correctly on Sierra, but it just maybe it would have had a who knows how this is going to affect JT in the future. He may have been able to kind of cover himself after discussions after tribal, whereas now I think everyone kind of knows that these conversations were happening. I know when whispering's happening, Jeff does try to call it out, and it's almost like, when a teacher catches you passing a note, read the note out loud to the class.
Something you want to share with all of us, JT?
Yeah, exactly. So, but in general, it's just kind of creates the discussion of, is if you're not going to potentially not allow huddling, can you still allow whispering to happen, and how, how is that fair, I guess.
Right. That just like the idea of like big groups going over there to huddle. I just feel like that it's going to get very messy at future tribal councils if we end up letting that go. Like I think the idea of like, okay, a whisper, you could overhear it, but then it's like, okay, we're going to go stand over there and have a separate side conversation. I mean, I think that Jeff is going to have to really, blow the whistle from time to time on these things.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'll let you take other calls, but thanks for your time.
Okay, well, anyway, great to catch up a little bit after the trip, and hope that we see you at the next one.
Yep. All right, we'll do. Thanks, Rob.
Bye. All right, let's go back to the phones and let's see.
Doris.
Oh, okay. Doris, how are you?
Hi, Rob. I'm great. You?
Yes, very good. Great to see you last week.
Oh, it was amazing. Thank you so much for such a wonderful event.
Yes. And Doris, I have your stuff here.
Thank you very much. You can bring it to Toronto. I'll see you in Toronto.
Yes. Well, I could send it beforehand, but yeah, Doris was very nice, and she got me. She brought some gifts for Nicole and for the boys to the show, and then I was very distraught because I saw Doris was very upset that you'd gotten some souvenirs for your son. And then somebody had you left them behind the restaurant. Somebody had taken them, and I was very disappointed for you. I was so sad.
Yeah, well, after once you messaged me and said that they're in the gift bag here, I was kind of like, oh, well, don't I feel stupid?
Well, it was such a confusing moment for me the next morning when I was like looking at this. I was like, why did Doris get me hockey stuff? And I was like, oh my God, it's the puck that she was looking for.
Yeah.
So
it was that, and it was such a wonderful event. But I was just kind of like, I was like, okay, I've left my kids at home, but it's all good. I have it all together. I'm firing on all cylinders. And like, I was like, I lost this. Like, one thing I wanted, my son asked me for, and I was like, oh my gosh. So it just was that. And but everyone was so nice and was so supportive, and they were like, don't feel bad. And everyone offered to go get me more pucks.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I was really reticent before coming. I was really nervous. I said, I'm in my 40s and I'm still really nervous about like, oh, is it going to be? And everyone was genuinely really nice. And if anybody is listening and is hesitant to go to Toronto for the first time, please don't. Because I was that person going, no, I'm not going to go. I can't. And I had fun. I had like so much fun.
Well, that I could tell that you were so excited when we were there. But I can't tell you how confused I was. That I was just like, what? Why a New York Rangers pennant? I don't I'm not a hockey fan. This is so bizarre. And then when I saw the puck, it was like the end of Usual Suspects. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, and then my husband's like, what? Like I was like, anyways, it was just like, oh, I felt like such a dork for being so upset about a hockey puck and like losing my cool, but it didn't deter from any of the fun, and it was such an amazing time.
Yes.
And I had such a lovely time chatting with your brother. He's really nice.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. He had a lot of fun with everybody. Also, by the way, and Nicole really did love the shirt too.
Oh, I'm glad she likes it. Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So Doris, what's going on?
I wanted to ask you, the one thing that I was really intrigued about was when I heard that there was like that whole table from podcast 1. What was the feedback? Did you get any feedback from them about, I know they know you have a podcast, but what was their impression? Did they give you anything about like, okay, you've just filled a room with 350 people and look at the reaction and all of this. Like, what did they have to say about that?
Yeah, they were really blown away about everything because I don't think that they really, especially like this was like the New York sales team, like not necessarily the people that I deal with like all the time in the LA office. And they were not Survivor fans. They were just, I don't think they even knew what they were coming to. And then they came and they came in sort of like the commercial break in between, like before Tribal Council. And they just walked into this room and then it was that Tribal Council. and they were just like, wait, what is going on here? And then Kelly is saying in the chat that one woman at that table kept talking though. So yeah, I think that would, they didn't know, they were the only people there that they had no idea what they were going to. And they had gone out to dinner, and as part of the, after the dinner, they said, okay, let's go see this live show. And they were really blown away, and they were like interviewing people afterwards, wait, what is this? Where? So you guys, and they were like really amazed, wait, people flew in from other countries to come to this? They were just really impressed by the energy in the room, and they were very confused about what they were ultimately going to. But they came away, they were really impressed with everything, and they were really excited about how nice everybody was, and how excited everybody was. And I think it kind of blew their minds a little bit.
That's amazing. I was saying, I said, of all nights for the podcast, but one folks to come in and witness, this live know-it-all, it was the one where everyone was, like you said, everyone was behaving really well, and it was a great reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was hoping that it brought really a positive, it influenced your relationship with Podcast One in a really positive way.
Yeah, no, they were really, and I had a call with them today. I have a monthly call with them, and they were in the LA office. They were really impressed with the report that they gave. See, I had thought though that they were bringing clients who happened to be Survivor fans. I thought that they were just sort of asking around of who was a Survivor fan, and and that's why I was surprised that they weren't there for the beginning of the show. But I think that they were taking a bunch of salespeople. The sales team was taking out people from different ad agencies to dinner, and then they were going to see a live podcast taping. But I don't think they necessarily knew what it was going to, they were getting into.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Jason Orruck after.
Yes.
Orruck. He was sitting right behind the podcast folks, and he's I was filling them in on everything.
Yeah, they interviewed him. They basically he was gave them they were wait, what is this? Who are and where did you guys all come from? And then they just, I don't think they had seen anything like that before.
No, so I was really intrigued. I kept going why is this giant table completely empty? And
I know the whole room was so packed, and there was the one giant table that was empty until the whole show, until right before the podcast started.
But it all worked out, and again, thank you, Rob, so much for being so sweet and so kind about everything, and I'm really excited to participate in Toronto.
Yeah, well, thank you again very much for saying that. I don't know if I really did anything that I just was lucky enough to find this great audience and do the get a great night of Survivor to talk about. And Jim did so much of the planning for Tuesday night, and Anessa did so much of the setup for the after party, and so everything that just sort of fell into place.
Well, it's a wonderful community. Like I was asking you, the community that you've built around, and everyone who's just developed these relationships that are expanding out beyond just the Facebook group and the Survivor podcast. It's expanding out beyond that to genuine relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really remarkable.
Yeah, it is really fun. I've met some couples that have met because of the podcast, which is sort of a weird there was a couple that was at the after party that were I don't remember exactly what their meeting story was, but it was something that I think she was wearing an RHAP t-shirt somewhere, and he stopped her. And then they struck up a conversation, and then they're a couple now. And it wasn't even they met at an event. She was just wearing the RHAP shirt somewhere, and then they were introducing themselves to me. So that was kind of a really fun story.
That's very cool. That's really cool. I'm excited for the Canadian version, so everyone can get to see what's happening and stuff. So I'll let you get to the other callers. Like I said, I'm in a hotel room in Ottawa on the road again. So I said, I have an opportunity to call in tonight.
Okay, great. All right. Well, looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks, Doris.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Okay. All right. So let's keep going along here. Let's see who's who's on the hangout? Who we got? Who was here first? William. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go back to a hangout here. William, you ready to go? All right, unmuted. William. Hello, William. Hold on, I'm not hearing anything. Going once, going twice. I can come back to you. Okay, wait, hold on. He's wait. I got a hand signal. Okay, let me do one more video. Let me take one more phone call. You get that straightened out. I'm not gonna hang up on you. Okay. All right. Let's try this one.
Tony Bacigalupi.
Oh, Tony Bacigalupi. Tony, where you been?
Oh, hey, hello?
Tony.
Oh, hey, hold on a second. Yeah, hold on.
Tony, how's
Sorry
it going?
I had to turn my sound system off.
That's
Hey,
appreciated.
long time no chat.
Yes. Tony, what's going on?
It's just my buddy and I were just celebrating. We got lucky enough to get tickets to see Tool in Washington State, which tickets were hard to get. So yeah, that's what I was just doing.
Yeah, cool. Congratulations, Tony.
Yeah. But also, I believe I have I have information I might have gotten the job in Pasadena, California, that I had applied for. So I could be living there. It's a strong possibility in the next probably 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
So hoping that nothing happens and the way my luck goes. But yeah, it looks like it's a yes. So keeping my fingers crossed. So that's my question is, are you planning on doing any RHAP live know-it-alls in LA?
Yes. I'm working. I'm getting a lot of pressure to get something going back on the West Coast. So there's a lot of ideas that are on the table right now. So that Podcast One, after they had their East Coast sales office at the live show, there's a lot of like the woman who actually runs the West Coast sales office is actually a listener and a Survivor fan and a Big Brother fan. So she's very jealous that we did one on the East Coast, and she wants a West Coast one. So we're trying to figure out the logistics, whether it's for Big Brother. Also, that the people that run the Hollywood Improv had reached back out to me. I was a little disappointed with them the last time around, and that they sort of like renewed that relationship and reached back out to me. So there's some talk about whether we do something for Big Brother. I'm also thinking about maybe doing a Big Brother show back on the East Coast this summer, because Nicole and I need to go back to New York and bring the boys to go visit my family back in New York. So I am curious to know the interest level for a Big Brother show in New York, to go back to Caroline's and do a Big Brother show this summer for Big Brother 19. That being said, there's some discussion of either a Big Brother show on the West Coast, know-it-alls for the fall, that we won't be able to get another Survivor show in the on the West Coast, at least for this season. And then there's also some talk about maybe trying to do a Game of Thrones live show. That's another idea that has just sort of like surfaced, and another thing that I would be very interested to know, what the interest level would be for a live Game of Thrones show.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the table, a lot of ideas floating around, but we will definitely be doing some stuff in the next couple months.
that'll work out great for me. It's some reason it's harder to travel to New York.
Yeah.
Especially it's going to be harder to travel if I'm living in LA, but it'll be, I could just, drive a couple, about 30 minutes possibly to the event.
Yeah.
So that would work out better.
Yeah, and I was even talking with Steven that Jason Somerville is trying to get us to go to Reno again in October. And I was even talking with Steven about potentially doing like Reno 1 week. And then while Steven is almost in LA, then maybe doing the LA Know-It-Alls the next week while he's already, in Reno. So there's a lot of stuff, Steven and I need to just get on the same page in terms of scheduling.
That reminds me, any plans for the Survivor finale? I am someone's guest to the finale.
Whoa. Look at you, Tony.
Yeah.
Everything's coming up roses for Tony these days.
Hey, let me tell you, I really need it because 2016, ever since after the Second Chance finale, I went through a very dark time in my life, losing a cousin, losing a family friend that we were close to in the span of a month, and just the diabetes diagnosis, so much going wrong that I definitely need a better 2017.
Yeah, well, happy to hear that things are going back in the right direction, Tony.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So you want to know what are my plans for the finale?
If there's anything that you were planning for the patrons for the finale, like an after party or something. I don't know.
We haven't done anything traditionally that's for the patrons for the finale. There's just sort of like one, party that's going on. So, everybody just goes to, one place, wherever that ends up being. So we'll see. But, there's a lot to figure out. The finale, I believe, was announced this week, May 24th, I believe, is going to be the Survivor finale. So it looks like our Toronto Know-It-Alls is going to be 2 weeks from the end. So definitely the latest in the season that we've done one of those.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. I look forward to the finale and getting, back involved into things. And I have yet to meet Jordan Kalish and Josh Wigler. We've been talking about a meeting for over a year now, and with so much going on with me, I just hadn't been able to do it. And looking forward to finally meeting because those two are really, especially Jordan. He's an awesome guy. And
well, he's not going to be at the finale, I don't think, but Josh Wigler should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, Tony. Well, happy to hear everything is on the up and up, and then I will, if not before then, see you around the finale.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Tony. You take care, everybody. Bye. All right.
You too. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye. All right. So let's see if we have William. You want to give it another shot?
Yeah. Am I good now?
Oh, you like snuck up on me.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm Billy George, actually. Yeah.
Billy George.
Yeah.
All right, Billy. So what's going on?
Nothing. I've got a lot of school, and I'm just trying to get through. Trying to get through with a little Survivor,
Okay, good. All right. So where do you go to school?
Temple University.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right. So and you got a Nirvana poster?
Yeah, I got Pink Floyd, and there's like Radiohead and stuff. I got a Rick Grimes poster in the corner. So,
wow. Okay. Yeah. Aren't you too young for those bands?
I'm 20 years old, but I reach out to some of the older stuff.
Old soul.
Yeah, old soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on, Billy?
I'm really enjoying the season of Survivor, and I've been a big Survivor fan for since I was like 10, and but I've been going back to I've been going through all the seasons of Big Brother, and I'm up to 14 right now, and I just got past the Dan's funeral episode.
Yes.
That's dude, that guy's he's one crazy dude.
So did you watch all of Big Brother in order, or are you watching them?
Yeah, I'm watching in order. I skipped one. I watched like 20 episodes and I stopped because I did not like it a lot. And then so then I went from 2 to 14. I finished 13 last week, and I'm like halfway through 14.
Okay, cool. Well, this is quite an adventure that you're on.
Yeah. It's 13 was, but 14. I'm liking 14 a lot better.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish I could say it's all uphill from there, but maybe not.
15.
Well, I'm sorry. Say that one more time, Billy.
I said I've heard nothing but great things about BB15.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
You know how in the Spicing Hour you had sometimes you had guests call in?
Yes.
And for a couple episodes you had Adam call in to News AF.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about doing that again?
With Adam specifically, or to have anybody call in?
To have anybody call in.
That's fun. You know, we didn't do it just because we switched the format. So we used to do the shows on Blab where people could just call into the show, and we had that sort of functionality. But then Blab ended up giving us a lot of problems and ultimately ended up folding. So we just do the shows through a Google Hangout. We wouldn't really be able to screen the calls, but that is a fun idea to be able to. Okay, let's take a couple of calls here at the end, sort of like I do with the Patroncast. That might be a fun week to give that a try.
Okay, yeah, it was. I liked it a lot when it was on the Spicing Hour, but I definitely understand why you can't do something like, you know.
It's hard, but maybe if I just did a phone number and then I said, okay, and people only have 2 minutes. So like it's like, okay, we'll do like, so maybe like rapid fire, like 5 to 10 minutes of calls. Cause also we don't want it like, I'm sure Scott St. Pierre is not dying for that show to be longer. Everybody like, we try to do about an hour on that show and not spend all day on News AF, but that's a fun idea. I've been looking for more ways to try to like let more people know about News AF, just to sort of like get the word out a little bit more. I think that might be a fun segment to do. I think that because Tyson is really good in those situations.
Yeah. Tyson is great.
Something is like the funnier Tyson is.
Yeah, and I've been loving Danny too. I mean, Danny's been doing a great job too.
Yeah, he's really great. Also, I think that we're really lucky to have him on board. Billy. I'm happy to hear that you are enjoying the News AF so much.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've listened to every episode, and it's I really did like the Spicing Hour, and I was kind of worried about having this new guy in, but he's been great for the past year and a half.
Year and change. We're coming up on News AF 100 in the next couple of months.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe it's I remember the first episode. That's crazy.
Yeah,
100 episodes.
Okay, cool. Well, I like that idea about the phone. Maybe I should just like set up like if I put it in the group and it was like, okay, we're gonna do maybe like 10 minutes of phone calls on the News AF and maybe do like one less story. Might be a fun thing to add to the show.
Yeah, I was just curious. Well, thanks, Rob. This is the first time I've called in. I upgraded to the $10 level like a month ago.
Yes.
So I'm excited to actually get the call in.
Great, welcome aboard, and talk to you again soon, Billy. Good luck at school. Okay.
All right, thanks, Rob. Later.
All right, take care. Bye. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines here. 845. Michael. Okay. Let's go try this one more time. Michael, are you there?
Hello, Rob. How you doing?
Very good. Oh, you didn't say Michael from effing Boston.
I did. You cut it off.
I don't. The screening system does not actually work that well. Okay, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, man. We actually just concluded the Patreon fantasy baseball draft.
Yes, how'd that go?
So opening day is coming soon. It went well.
How many Mets do you
Bloom at
have?
the number one. I have a few. I have Syndergaard and Harvey. But you missed you missed the key story. Mike Bloom had the number one pick.
Okay.
Why does Mike Bloom need the number one pick in a fantasy baseball draft?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Amazing Race draft.
No, you have the number one pick in the fantasy baseball draft.
Why is Mike Bloom even in the fantasy baseball league?
Great question.
Does he want to play fantasy baseball? I mean, the guy's on like 9 million podcasts. What does he need to be playing fantasy baseball?
If I lose to Mike Bloom in a fantasy baseball league.
Yeah, why? I don't even. Can you give me the backstory? Why is Mike Bloom even in a fantasy baseball league?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him that on your 1,000 podcasts.
I mean, I'm baffled about this. Did he lose a bet? Why? I don't even understand why Mike Bloom would do it. Does he want to play fantasy baseball? I mean, never in my life have I even heard Mike Bloom even mention anything about baseball.
It's crazy. It's crazy, Rob.
Okay. All right. So interesting.
So actually, I wanted to call. Sorry, go ahead, please.
You go ahead.
Okay. All right. I actually wanted to call and tell my favorite story about Live Know-It-Alls, about the after party.
Great.
Okay, so this was, I know you don't usually like to go blue, but I'll have to go a little blue for a second.
You're going to go full Bloom.
So, I was looking forward to meeting all of the survivors afterwards. And, when I met Chris Hammonds, I decided that I would go up to him and I would shake his hand. And I said to him, "Hey, Chris, nice to meet you. How often is someone bold enough to tell you to eat shit?"
Okay.
Because famously he did so for his video,
for his audition video. Yeah.
Yeah. So he chuckled and he said, "Well, not too often." And so I said, "Fine, eat shit, dude." And he laughed and walked away. I'm like, "Oh, that's a fun little story." Turns out, a couple hours later, he passes by me to go to the bathroom and he slaps me on the back and he goes, "Hey, eat shit." So he actually told me to eat shit a couple times himself. So I thought that was funny, and I thought that he was him and everyone else really were really great at the party. I didn't see anyone reject a picture, a selfie, or anything. Really, you do it. It's a great thing that they kind of show up and support the fans when we're
Yeah, I think
them.
it's fun for the survivors too, and Chris and Brett are such a funny comedy duo. But when you come to these things, I think that there might be a little bit of because we follow these things so closely that you think that probably these people are probably hounded a lot more in real life, and it's really the rarity, I think, for just about all of these people. And then there's one place where you go to and everybody knows who you are. It's it's a fun thing to be able to have this there's one night where everybody knows who you are from the show, but then pretty much you walk outside that building and nobody knows who you are. So I think that they're all they all know the deal when they're walking in.
Sure. And then I just wanted to let you know that I know you probably get tired of hearing this, you hear this all the time, but you've really created such a great little community. Those are know-it-alls, live know-it-alls. There's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They're just special for the people that go, and people care about each other. People get to meet new people. It's just a really it's a really special community that you help create. So hats off to you, dude.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Mike. I really do appreciate it. And glad everybody had such a fun time. And I'm glad that there was seemingly, again, I feel like that maybe you guys really hold back on the really good stuff and don't tell me what's going on. But that it's seemingly, from everything I saw, there's very little drama going on. And it seemed like everybody had a really fun time. Mike, were you pumped up that Robert Kraft said that Tom Brady is going to play another 6 or 7 years?
I mean, I'll believe it in 6 or 7 years. I don't know. I don't know when he's going to be done. But if he keeps playing well, I'll keep rooting for him, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for the call. Let me know how the fantasy draft works out. Who did Mike Bloom take number one?
He took Mike Trout.
Okay. All right. Went with the chalk.
He did go Trout. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Have a great opening day.
Thank you.
I know it's one of the best days of the year because both of our teams are in first place.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Mike. Take care, buddy. Bye. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and let me jump back to the hangout here. I'm not sure who this is. John. Okay. John is on the line in the hangout. John, are you there? Yes. Oh, here's John. John, hold on. I see you now, but I don't hear you yet. Okay, we'll give John. Maybe we need to give John a minute, like we did.
Check one, check two.
Oh, here he is. John.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's been a long time. I think the last time I was on a call-in show was around Survivor Nicaragua or something like that. I called in to thank you and Nicole for helping me do my laundry and get my bike fixed.
Cool.
Because, when you're trying to do one of those tasks, like, do I really want to do the laundry? Do I really want to go to the store? And it's like, yeah, you know what? It's an opportunity to listen to a podcast, so I'll go get it done. So,
I could not agree with you more. Like, obviously, like that sometimes that there's a RHAP up that I can listen to. It's normally not my own podcast, but
Sure.
believe me, that the doing the dishes or anything around
Absolutely.
my house is like unbearable if I don't have a podcast to listen to.
yeah, I mean, it's really changed things. I actually look forward to those things now because that's podcast time. You know what I mean? So anyway, between then and now, the amount of laundry you've helped me do is incalculable. So
Good.
I'm not sure if Nicole ever gets on you about that. You can say, hey, look, maybe I didn't do this laundry, but the amount of laundry I have caused to get done worldwide, is unimaginable.
Yes, and the amount of dishes that I've helped get washed.
Exactly. I mean, you're cleaning up the world one podcast at a time.
Yes. Okay. And by the way, great hat.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I love it.
I like
a
the
good
guitar
find.
in the background too.
Yeah. I was just working on my Survivor Know-It-Alls theme, just in case, but that's not what I'm here for.
Okay, well, anytime you want to give it a shot, we will listen to it.
All right, well, we'll do that after. But the main thing I want to talk about, if you're not already totally sick to death of this, is I want to talk about twists.
Great.
All right, so I'm a fan of Survivor and Big Brother, so I think it's interesting to compare these kind of two major twists we've seen so far in the game. With Survivor, obviously the I don't know what we're calling this twist, the fake merge, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one in Big Brother Canada where the audience got to vote to choose a player to become safe till jury. To me, those are both like pretty significant twists, but they're pretty different. And I wanted to kind of talk about which one do you like more, which one do you hate more as a viewer, as a game player. I think there's some interesting differences there.
Yeah, this is a great question, and I'm glad that the Patroncast allows us to sort of like talk about these big picture sort of things between the shows. Like I've done a couple times, like a podcast, like on a Saturday, sort of like Jordan Parhar was on with me a couple times where we took calls and answered questions about stuff. So it's fun to be able to sort of like look at two different things that we're talking about right now. For those of you guys who are just only following Survivor, there was a twist on Big Brother Canada this season. It's basically it's a fans versus favorite season. They brought back 8 returning players and 8 newbies, and they had a twist where Canada got to vote on one person that was going to basically be safe from eviction to jury. I don't recall a lot of people complaining about that twist in terms of like one of the fan favorites ultimately got to stay to that point. And Big Brother Canada, as I was mentioning in the know-it-alls last week, is very twist heavy. Although this season has probably been lighter on twists, other than that one, than most other Big Brother Canada seasons that I can recall, at least in the first couple of weeks. So I would say, am I talking about in terms of just my personal preference?
Yeah, for you personally, which one do you? I mean, I know you're not a fan of the Survivor twist. I haven't really heard, I think, a clear opinion on the Big Brother one. Which one do you hate more?
I would say I hate the Survivor one more, but that's not to say that I totally hate it. It's interesting that the last 2 days I did a podcast with Josh Wigler, who, and I was telling Josh this, that I thought it was interesting that he's the person out of anybody I talked to who's the most for this twist. He thought it was great. He said he's not dying for Survivor to do it again, but he feels like that. I don't know if we've already spoiled this last Survivor episode in terms of who went home, but I guess the cat's out of the bag, I guess, with that.
Which
but
patrons
he
have
said,
already seen?
Yeah. Josh said it was totally fair, and there was no screwing of anybody that happened in that Survivor episode, that it was all JT, if anybody screwed somebody, and not the twist, where David Bloomberg said it was a completely unfair twist. He hates the twist. It's that this week somebody got screwed by a twist worse than anybody else has ever gotten screwed by a twist in the history of the show. I'm certainly much more in the middle. I think it was great TV, and David Bloomberg said it was terrible TV, and Josh said it was great TV. I thought it was incredible TV, but I think it was maybe poorly conceived that it designed. And so I like the Big Brother Canada twist better, because I think that the Big Brother Canada twist protected a star of its show from going out early, whereas the Survivor twist actually encouraged a star of its show to go out early.
Yeah, I'm actually of the total opposite opinion. So for me, I mean, I'm like a lot of the viewers of this show, like you. What I love about these shows is great gameplay. You know, my favorite thing in the world is when one of these players can emerge and do something really great, you know, go against the odds and show us how amazing they are at just pulling something off. That's what I love about these shows. And so for me, let's start with the Big Brother one. I hate this twist so much. And the reason is, look, Netta was a great player. I loved watching her play.
Past tense?
Well, I don't know. That's why I hate this twist. You know, the whole excitement of seeing her back again is, here's an opportunity for her to prove that she really is a great player. You know what I mean? She's coming back. She has a target on her back. What can she do? This is her opportunity. She has to go above and beyond what she did last time. If she truly is one of the greats, you know, among all the other people we can name as great players of these games, then this is her chance to prove it. And I just can't wait to get my mind blown to watch it happen. What I feel like this twist has done is it's robbed me of that chance. I don't get to see Netta play the game. So for me, yeah, she's there, but I'm not interested in watching the show just to see her be there. I want to see her, you know, struggle and overcome. So for me, this twist really wrecked it. Whereas for Malcolm, I mean, I'm as big of a Malcolm fan as anybody else. I was totally gutted watching that show, and I hate to see him go. But I'd rather lose him in this way, where it was a twist. I'm more on the Josh Wigler side of this. I do think it was it wasn't by any means the worst twist I've ever seen. They had all day to think about it. They had the tribal council. Jeff was letting them do all kinds of crazy stuff in the council to talk to each other and communicate. So without getting too much into it, I think there were things that anyone could have done in that tribal council. And it was an opportunity for someone to emerge as a truly great player who is able to go with the flow and, you know, assess a new situation and figure out, what do I need to do right now? And so it's sad that Malcolm went out, but I feel like he did have the opportunity to do something there, and, you know, it would have been great to see it happen. And so on the other hand, Netta, you know, we'll get to see what she does after jury, but I feel like I was robbed of something.
So let me just give you the counterpoint here, where I understand what you're saying, that the Billy 5 years from now who's watching the Dan Giesling funeral.
That was me last year.
I'm sorry?
That was me last year. I just caught up recently as well.
So maybe there's not that moment of, oh my God, Netta was so screwed in those first couple of weeks, and can you believe what she did to get herself off of the block in that spot? Perhaps you were robbed of something that you don't get to see that. But there is also every chance in the world that Netta then is able to come back from that. Obviously, there will be somebody presumably making a move against her once she is vulnerable, and you still may well get to see Netta pull something out of her backside and be able to pull off that move that you want to see, and see Netta play her ass off in the second half of the game when she is vulnerable. And, she is making big moves that, we can say whether this was a good move or not a good move, after this is all said and done. But for Malcolm, you really were robbed of getting to see Malcolm play a third time. Malcolm in the pregame talked up this great game and all the stuff that he has read, and he was all ready to go. And Jeff Probst talked about this great social game that he had. And I do think that the odds were stacked against Malcolm, but we were, I think, more robbed of getting to see Malcolm, go out of the game on his terms, where this twist, while it could have, gone to anybody, Malcolm ends up sort of just being this collateral damage for this twist. And I think that loss is worse than we still will get to see Netta play the rest of her game. We really were sort of just robbed of getting to see what Malcolm was going to go on to do.
Yeah, I get that. But to me, let's say even if Netta is able to, do some great stuff later in the game and make it to the end and whatever, it's much less exciting to me than if she had been able to do it from the start, which I think it's quite possible she could have. And and just, that first episode when Netta was holding on to, I forget who she was paired with in that first HOH, but you could see the desperation in her. She did not want to let go. She was so afraid for herself. And maybe it was. She was just so desperate to stay in this game at any cost. And it was so exciting to me to see that. And since she's got this power, that energy has really gone away.
Yeah.
And on the Malcolm side, I lost Malcolm and I hate it. But for me personally, I really can't blame the twist entirely for that. I do think it was a unique situation that perhaps, did put him in a worse spot than a lot of other people. But I really think there were things he could have done if he were truly as great as, we all think he is. I haven't seen you talk about it, but we've heard a lot about how JT was saying, we got to change the vote. We got to change the vote. We got to change the vote, guys. Come on, and they didn't listen to him. And he didn't tell them why, but shouldn't that be kind of a red flag? Should we put any blame on them for not saying, hey, why is JT freaking out over here? We saw him talking to the tribe. He knows something's up. Why not just change the vote? Why not just go, okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's change the vote.
Yeah, and I do think I've probably come down after listening to everything this week more on the Josh side of things, that I think that there were things that could have been done to prevent it. I don't think that Malcolm is without fault in how this ultimately played out. And I do think that if we take a look at what the two twists are, I do think that the Survivor combined tribal council ends up being a more fair twist in the game than something that's sort of just contrived of, we're going to protect one of your favorites for the first half of the game, where there was anything that could happen. I think that the telling thing that Josh mentioned when we talked in the Wiggle Room was that Malcolm thought that the twist was unfair when he first heard it for the other people, because that they outnumbered them, and then it ultimately ended up going against him. But if you think it's, a bad deal for the other guys before you think it's a bad deal for you, it probably means it was a fair deal to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, I think really it is a big case of we lost Malcolm and we're so focused on that. And that's why we hate the twist. But,
nobody would have complained about this if Sierra Dawn Thomas went home.
No, it's a shame. Believe me, I'm devastated.
Yeah.
But and I think you're right from a gameplay point of view, as far as the players are concerned. Absolutely. I mean, the Big Brother stuff is ridiculous. I mean, it's a joke in a game that was supposed to be a strategy game. But it's Big Brother Canada and we're used to it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
hey, this was a great call.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Do you want to hear some Know-It-All Steam?
Sure. You got it ready to go?
Yeah, I got it ready to go.
Okay. Oh, wow. This is a bonus.
Yeah. I'll be in Toronto, by the way. So
that's awesome.
This is my audition, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. The smartest guys around are about to break it down like they've won the game 1,000,000 times. And really, in our hearts, they're always going to be winners. Survivor Know-It-Alls. Oh. know-it-alls. Steven and Rob, without a doubt, got the game all figured out. You know it all. We'll end it there.
Yes, fantastic. That was wonderful. Are you going to bring your guitar to Toronto? And would you duet with Brett LaBelle?
I'd absolutely duet with Brett LaBelle. Let's rock it out, man. I'll bring it.
The music, the track, the instrumental track really threw him off the other night.
Yeah, it's hard to play to a track. You know, it's better when you got a live dynamic with a musician. I'd absolutely do it, man.
And that was fantastic. Yeah, great job, great call. Maybe Patroncast MVP.
Hey, man, do I get like a trophy for that? Or
yeah, you get the fishy.
I'll take a fishy.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for the call.
All right, Rob.
Thanks. Like 7 years to call in again.
Yeah, I'll call you. Anyway. Whatever. Talk to you next time. See you in Toronto.
All right. Take care, buddy. Bye. All right. Bye. Great job, John. All right. So I got only 2 calls on hold. I mean, I can do more if you're waiting to call in. If you want to get in on the hangout or on the conference call, and then Scott, I'm gonna come to you. I don't want you to be be prepared. Okay.
Amanda or Bernard.
Oh, Amanda. All right, Amanda. This is some lead-in for you.
I know. I was going to say, don't call the MVP too early, Rob. Yeah, but I'm not going to say. I'm not going to sing or anything. So yeah. I think John's got it pretty secured.
Okay, Amanda, how you doing?
Good. This not being the first or second caller thing is a bit of a drag, but
yeah. Well, I started earlier tonight, so that I know that you don't want to stay up too late.
Yeah, the problem now is that like bedtime with my 2-year-old is just getting more and more drawn out. So I need to reclaim the authority in the relationship, I think.
Oh, Amanda, I hear you. We start with Dominic at like 7, and it's still like, oh, but I just one more thing. One more, like he can filibuster.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just want to play. Can we just play checkers? Can I just watch one more video? I just need one more Lego. Can I just get one of the thing? You know, everything is just one more. Everything.
I know. They're, but you can't negotiate with terrorists. You know,
well, you get him in bed. Oh wait, you forgot to give me a hug. Oh yeah, I need this other toy from the other room. I just need to go get this one thing.
Yeah, we just finished potty training, so now the thing is like the last ditch effort is no, I have to go potty.
Yeah,
so he's very clever.
It's all in the bag of tricks.
Yep.
Yeah, well, great seeing you last week as well, Amanda.
Oh, it was amazing. It was this is my 3rd live know-it-alls now, and they just keep on getting better. And this was a really, really fun one.
Yeah. Good times. All right. So what's going on tonight?
So let's see. So I really enjoyed the last call by John.
Yeah, that was really great.
You know, obviously the twist. Yeah. And I think, you know, we're all kind of like evolving on this twist after the initial shock of it. I issued a dissenting opinion to David Bloomberg on the thread, and he told me that he's going to get back to me with a thoughtful response. So,
so what was your take? So you were, where did you come down on it?
Well, I mean, I think that I just don't think that it's a lot less fair than the other twists in the Survivor repertoire. And I think that ultimately, when you look at the outcome of it, I think that that Brad's alliance sort of played this better strategically than the Nuku alliance. So I think that like there's a strategic reason that one side won out over the other. It's hard to just chalk it all up to luck or chalk it all up to the twist.
Yeah. Can I add one thing that I feel like we haven't talked about this week? I wonder how much did the Go to Rocks tiebreaker scare people from defecting, where a stray bullet, like, you know, if JT decides to go in a different direction than the rest of his group, in that case, where you have some sort of like 5-5-1 scenario, I think that that might be another thing that I don't know how exactly it weighed into things, but I feel like it probably, forced JT to be, voting with the group in a way that maybe he might have done his own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I got, on Facebook, I was, talking about this with some other patrons, and somebody sort of suggested that they should have flipped the vote but not told JT. But then if it got into a tie situation, then everybody would have, everybody would have been looking to avoid that. So I don't know if they could have afforded to leave JT out in the cold and like go in with I guess it would be a 4-4 tie, or a 5-5 tie. Yeah, so I think that probably had a larger share in this than it initially realized.
Yeah, so a very complicated decision going on there.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to do 2 or 3 more podcasts about that episode.
Yeah, I might need to.
Yeah. So, but it was probably the best episode for a live know-it-alls. I don't know if that's been something that's been talked about yet. I joined like 20 minutes late, but this seemed like probably one of the most eventful episodes that's happened, at least in the 3 that I've been to.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah, this was definitely the biggest episode that we've done. And probably the second best one was the one that we did last spring with Debbie going home. I think that was also a really exciting episode where it was going to be Julia and she won immunity, and they had to scramble at the last minute, and then they switched the vote to Debbie. So that was a pretty exciting episode too. Not as exciting.
Yeah, that was really fun too. That was the first one that I went to, and that was like right after there was all the Debbie hype that it looked like she was gonna win the season, and she was the mastermind. So that was really fun.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All good stuff. When is David gonna get back to you with that thoughtful response?
You know what? It was like 20 minutes ago that he said, Amanda, I'm not ignoring you. I just haven't had time to craft a response. So I'm looking forward to something really good.
Okay. Let me know if you need me to have you on Why Blank Lost next week to have the official debate.
Yes. Oh, well, that actually ties into what my question was, which was, I wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed March Mad Dogness.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really, really fun podcast. And I'm really intrigued by the possibilities with the Survivor Supreme Court now assembled.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if if you've given any thought to ways that we might use the Survivor Supreme Court in the future to, settle disputes in the community or tackle.
Oh, this is a great idea. Thank you for. So I think what we need to do is that, we have all this debate about this latest twist, fair or unfair. I think we need to challenge the ruling, and we should send this to the Survivor Supreme Court. So I'm going to reach out to Randy and see if we can get an emergency session of the Survivor Supreme Court. This past week's twist. Fair or unfair, and let's see what the decision of the Survivor Supreme Court is.
Perfect, because then it'll be settled law, and nobody can argue about it anymore.
And then Malcolm's lawyer can challenge the show if the Survivor Supreme Court deems that this whole thing was unfair. Then maybe Malcolm can get back on the show.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Or at least he can present a case where they can maybe settle out of court that Malcolm ends up coming back for a fourth time, that the Survivor Supreme Court ruled 9-0 in Malcolm's favor, that this was very unfair.
I think that they might have already offered him that settlement, or I bet that's coming.
Yeah, Malcolm might be pushing for David Bloomberg to get pushed onto the Survivor Supreme Court.
That's true. Well, he should at least, Malcolm should at least take him on as a lawyer. I think he seems to be his strongest proponent. I mean, it's pretty precedent breaking that David Bloomberg has never, over 400 survivors, found a reason that decided that there was no good reason that they lost. So this is
Yeah, Malcolm could cite that case.
Exactly.
That's good.
But I do think it would be fun to do something else using the Survivor Supreme Court. I thought it was a really fun idea.
Yeah.
And the group of it was like I listened to Dom and Colin's podcast where they were deliberating on all of their choices, which was also really fun.
Oh, I
so
haven't listened to
it's a
that.
good group with some it's a good group with some interesting different perspectives, which I was actually surprised at how much disagreement there was sometimes, because I kind of thought everybody listens to the podcast and we all probably converge on the same opinions, but it was fun. It would be fun to do something else with them in the future.
Yeah. The obvious things people were talking about was next year for March Madness, do some different type of tournament, whether it's like you could do either like people that like finalists or people that didn't win, or best. You could do merge boots. You could do first boots. I think that we could do a March Madness tournament every year. But now we're over 32.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see. It should be fun. But I think that maybe for the off season, maybe we can come up with something good to do for another podcast.
Yeah. And like any excuse to get Akiva on the main podcast. I just think that like every word that comes out of his mouth is hilarious for some reason, no matter what he's talking about. So
yes,
I'm a huge fan of Akiva.
Me too. Yeah, and get in while the getting's good. I think we're inside the final 30 for Seinfeld podcast.
I know it's gonna leave such a hole in my podcast feed and my heart when you guys are done with that.
Yes. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens next. All right, Amanda. Okay, well, I hope that you get that thoughtful response in the near future. You don't have to wait too long.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure that David is furiously typing away as we speak. So I'll let you know if anything interesting comes out.
All right, reach out if you need to come on to the Why Blank Lost podcast next week.
Oh my God, I'd love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Amanda.
I'll see if we can settle this, but I'll let you know. Okay, thanks a lot for taking my call, Rob.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
So I've only got one other person on hold, and this is somebody from the 847.
Scott.
Okay. Is this Matt?
Scott. This is Scott Shupak from Seattle.
Scott, how are you, Scott?
I'm doing pretty good, and I do second the Survivor Supreme Court idea. There is a risk, though, is that you do have Tom and Colin sitting as one of the seats, so you could get a deadlocked Supreme Court, and it would have to be remanded to the lower court.
Oh, yeah, that is possible. So that would be some sort of like Dom and Colin deadlock, and then the rest of the Survivor Supreme Court was also at a 4-4.
Yeah, and as we've seen in the real Supreme Court, this could be a problem.
But I think that Dom and Colin at some point then just flip a coin, right?
Well, I thought they had an agreement that like whoever got the first round, that they got it going forward.
Yeah, they have like some sort of like internal tiebreak rule. So I'm not sure. Like we could have some sort of like a doomsday scenario where it's a 4-4 split and then they're split. But I think that they have some sort of a tiebreaker.
Important to go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I think they go to like cause or something like that. So we'll see. But I'm very open to more ideas for the Survivor Supreme Court now that we put them together.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that too.
Yeah, I think they have Hannah in the chat room says rock, paper, scissors. That's how they would solve it on their Genius.
Sounds good.
And I also didn't say this, but I did tell Dom that I felt like that this past Survivor Tribal Council was the most Genius-like episode of Survivor. It was like you could certainly imagine that scenario unfolding, and then this big reveal where Malcolm gets voted out.
Yeah, and I liked your idea of shooting the hostage on the earlier episode. I thought that was
Yes.
was pretty genius.
Yes, take out Haley.
And the advantage of that also is if you do shoot Haley during that tribal council, the next time that group goes to tribal council, they don't have an easy boot anymore, and they have to kill one of their own, which could cause dissension, which is probably in their favor.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I can't take credit for it. That was one of the voicemailers that sent that in. But I think that probably is the best solve that we've come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get out of that one alive. Yeah. Okay. So Scott,
exactly.
So what do you want to talk about, Scott?
So I was listening to some of your talk about The Amazing Race, and I do kind of share your concerns about CBS just kind of using Amazing Race to kind of, fill a schedule hole, which kind of seems what they're doing here. And
schedule
I can't think of any. Yeah, they probably have the sub cancellation because it makes no sense to want to put it on Thursday at 10 o'clock. There's never been a successful reality show I could even think of that was like a Thursday at 10 kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know if they felt like, okay, well, we have this in the can. We're going to put it on eventually. So let's just put it on.
Yeah.
We
And I'm also
nervous
about the twist because I always, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not as nervous about the twist, though.
Well, the thing that always got me excited about Amazing Race that made it unique when the show started, and I don't know, have you ever gone ahead and watched season 1?
Oh, I watched it when it was first on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I mean, the thing that was always amazing is that you were seeing these teams of 2 people working together, and you were seeing kind of the intimate parts of their relationships and how they worked together and how everything was different. And I always thought that was what the unique part of The Amazing Race was. And I know there's some other shows that kind of, now play with couples, so it's not, perfectly unique anymore. But it seems like once you remove that dynamic from The Amazing Race, it kind of loses some of its specialness.
Yeah, I agree. That there is internal struggle drama and external drama with these teams, and it was interesting to see a couple having to work together, but they're also fighting with each other. But then also you have the same thing with sort of like a parent relationship, and so I agree. But I do think that the interesting thing, and I've been working my way through the preview podcast that Jess did with Dan and the fantasy baseball master Mike Bloom, that going back to the last blind date season, like the blind date couples were more interesting for the most part than the couples that they found through casting. So, I guess let's see how it plays out. I'm not gonna, hold my nose before we even get to seeing how the season is gonna go. So this might be the most interesting Amazing Race season they've done in 10 seasons.
Yeah, that is true, and you're right. It does carry seed, and the nice thing is when you're recruiting individuals, you don't have to kind of well, this person was interesting, and let's take their mother and hope that works out well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you don't know. You could get another Blaley out there. That was very fun. So I guess I really have not looked at the cast too closely myself. I will try to do that with a more of a curious eye before we get to Thursday. But I'm certainly interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. One question I had for you, and you were talking a little bit about kind of your Survivor media experiences. I was kind of curious where Rob Has a Podcast kind of fits in terms of, how important you guys are to CBS for Survivor and kind of how that compares to some of the other reality shows, how important, your media is to them. Are there particular shows that really go after, having you and others that, couldn't care less?
So the question is, how important does CBS think Rob Has a Podcast is in the overall scale of media that covers the show?
Right.
Okay. So, let me just again, this is my interpretation. So, okay. So, so in the middle, here's Rob Has a Podcast. Okay. CBS feels that the following media is more important in no particular order. Everything that Dalton Ross, Gordon Holmes, Josh Wigler, ET Canada, any other media, mainstream media outlet, that's all ahead of Rob as a podcast. And then everything that's not a mainstream media outlet, I guess, is below Rob as a podcast. So basically like anything that so I guess right in the middle. So anything else that you haven't heard of, anybody that doesn't have Exit Press, we're more important than them. And anything, Josh, Dalton, Gordon, ET Canada, that's all more important.
Okay.
So
are there other reality shows that are kind of really going after the Rob Has a Podcast audience?
Opposite Worlds.
Right.
Yeah. I don't really know. Not really. Hunted. We were very a key cog in Hunted media. Big Brother Canada has been very good to us. They've reached out, I got to do interviews with all the house guests. They had reached out. We have a very good relationship with them. So they've been very good to us. And then that I think I have a pretty good relationship with CBS. They've been nothing but good to me and all the time that I've been doing the podcast, so I can't complain too much.
Has Survivor pushed to have somebody at Rob Has a Podcast come out to the set?
No, they have not ever pushed for that. They have not been. They have not been like twisting my like Rob, come on, get out there. That has not been a push that they've been making.
Would Nicole want to come out to support for Rob Has a Podcast? I know you've already been
Nicole,
out there.
Nicole goes on location. So I would send Nicole on location to go and be, instead of me like doing interviews pregame.
Exactly, kind of like Letterman would have Sarah Jill and Muji Bar gonna go out.
Yeah. That's interesting. That would be fun. I think she would be good at it. Like, if you were going to send Nicole to do anything, I think the pregame stuff would probably be better than, her like coming up with like questions to ask people at the finale. Like,
right.
She'd be better on like a first impressions thing.
Yeah, I think this would work.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good idea. Gonna send Nicole out on the location. The problem is like I would have to send like a team of people to get like the equipment to work. Like I couldn't count on her to do anything like technical. Like she wouldn't have like a microphone on.
He can't handle that.
Who am I gonna send?
Yeah, Josh. You send her out with Josh.
Oh well, Josh isn't gonna be Nicole's caddy for. He's got to do his own stuff. So I don't know. I gotta see. Maybe I could get like a team of people to attend to her.
I like this idea.
Okay. All right. Well, are you volunteering?
I would love to. I don't know that I have the technical experience.
Yeah. Scott St. Pierre, you want to take Nicole out on a location? Okay. Scott's willing to do it. Okay. Jordan Kalish is saying he'll do it too. Okay. So, all right, we'll see. Let's see. Maybe see. Maybe we could send like Nicole to like Big Brother press day first and just see how this goes.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Scott, thank you so much. Thank you for the call.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I got a couple more calls on hold that just came in under the wire, so let's get to them. Let's try this 813.
John.
Oh, John. Oh, John. I was getting worried. I wasn't going to hear from you tonight.
My bad, Rob. I mean, really, I just got a clash.
All right, John. And again, thank you for the presents last week, John.
You love it.
Yes. Thank you for the Jets shirt, the Jets hat, and a Mets Christmas ornament.
it's just something random I found. So like,
Okay. I don't know if I caught that, John. But go ahead. What's the question tonight, John?
I know I just got here, but like, I'll be doing exit interviews for Amazing Race 29.
Well, I'm sorry. What's the question? Am I going to do exit interviews for Amazing Race 29?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I said I'm leaning against it. I was offered the opportunity to do it, but it's just going to be a quick turnaround from Thursday at 10 to end up doing them for Friday morning.
Oh yeah, because I think it's gonna mess up with your Big Brother Canada one.
Well, it's also I have Big Brother Canada, but I'm also very busy with the Survivor podcast on Thursday and Friday. You know, it's sort of like that. Nobody asked me if Thursday at 10 was going to be a good time slot for me on The Amazing Race.
It's not your fault. Come on.
Yeah, it's not a great time slot for me. But we are going to have the podcast, and we'll see. I'll try to get the exit press for like the final three.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Just wondering about that, but like, yeah, I guess like a Survivor question, I guess.
Okay. All right. What do you got, John?
All right. So I mean, the Game Changers, the preseason show was so good. The podcast.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy Jen Manning also. With the Kayla Beast Mode, where she did all her Big Brother and Survivor.
Yeah.
Research. Yeah, but it really leads me to like, if they ever does this returning season again, would you do like that preseason podcast again?
If I think I would do what I did this time around. I think I would do the same sort of like long form deep dive into everybody on another returning. I thought this worked out well.
It wasn't that great. I wanted to do it so bad, but none of my favorite survivors or players are there right now.
Why? Who would you have done if you could pick any survivor, John? Who would you have been the authority to do a podcast on?
Join me.
Who? Jen Brown?
No, Natalie and Nadia.
Oh, Natalie and Nadia. Okay.
Yeah, I know they're making race, history, so that'd be good for me because I also watch the Survivor season.
Okay. You wouldn't do one for Jen Brown if she came back?
She'll just probably tell me to shut up.
Okay. Well, you would be able to do one if it was just Nadia that came back.
I'll do anyone then, but if it's our survivors, I can still do it. I like to do maybe like David or maybe Ken. Apparently.
Okay, so David or Ken if they came back. Okay. All right. Sounds good, John. So, and are you going to watch Amazing Race 29? I know you're down on Amazing Race.
I'm still down because Survivor's really, giving me so much hype.
Yeah.
Look at the evidence is Malcolm, that tribal oh my God. Everyone was just like, whoa!
Were you okay, John?
I know. I was like, what? I was like, no. I think I had like anxiety like David.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you're doing okay now, John.
I do, but hopefully I'll get more anxiety attacks when I go at the No.
I want you to be calm. I don't want to have to worry about you at the show.
Yeah, well, the anxiety, I meant excitement.
Okay. All right, John. Well, great to see you again, buddy.
You too. I can't wait for live Nolos in the Great White North.
Yep. Winter is coming, John. Okay. All right.
And baseball comes back Sunday.
It's all happening. All right, John. You take care, buddy.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go Mets, I guess, for you.
Yes. Let's go Mets. Okay, John. All right. Take care, buddy. Okay. Bye. All right. Let's go back. Let's do a caller, and then I'll go back to the hangout. Here's the 781.
Yes.
All right, hold on.
Jen Manning.
Oh, Jen Manning. Jen.
Hey, what's going on, Rob?
Oh, nothing. I just that your ears must have been ringing. John was saying you did such a good job talking about Beast Mode Cowboy.
I know. I heard him. Thank you very much, John. I also want to thank John for my gift. as you said in New York, he's like Santa. It was very unexpected, but I guess
Yes. You're Rob
expect the
Gronkowski,
unexpected from John.
like starting lineup figure.
I know. It's like, I'm like, is he even watching football? Like Gronkowski breaks his knee every like third week into every season.
I heard it was a Rob Gronkowski voodoo doll he got you.
Oh, then I'm gonna put that up on my nightstand and treasure it.
Yes.
Hopefully he can get through a season.
Jen, would you rather go on
But,
the Gronk cruise, or would you rather go on the James Hewling +1 free cruise?
I try to stay as far as I can away from James Hewling at all times. So I would go on the Gronk cruise. Yeah, I would definitely go on the Gronk cruise. Do you see some videos from that?
What the
It was
hell?
on TMZ and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, what is that James Hewling thing?
I don't know. It sounds like that he was trying to get Natalie to go on a cruise with him, and then it seems like that was a social contract. I did not get the sense that dudes were welcome to be James's +1 on that cruise.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, what a week, Rob. I had so much fun in New York. That was a great show.
Yes. Great show. Great to see everybody.
I had so much fun with my twinnies. They're mine now. No one can say. I'm calling in late. I think Stephanie.
Isabel.
Sorry. Oh my God.
Isabel was already on.
Screwing them up. Isabel said she called in or something.
Yes.
But yeah, I had so much fun. You know, it was what a great episode. I just want to thank you so much for everything. It was the best trip yet.
Oh, good. So did you have a question tonight, Jen?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wanted to go through my predictions for the Caleb thing that I said on the podcast.
Okay.
And I feel like I was a little too confident about Caleb.
You were
not
very
going
confident.
out
I believe you said you
pre-merge.
thought he was going to be 4th place this season.
Yes, I did.
He wasn't even 4th out.
I'm a little embarrassed. But I didn't see a scenario where the co-run cast would be like 50% of a swap tribe and Ty and Caleb would literally be like kissing in public.
Mhm.
I mean, that wasn't really, you know.
Not good.
But I feel like I gave a few good predictions. He wasn't going to get along with Sandra. You know, he wasn't going to get along with Brad Culpepper. And also I said, you know, I re-listened to it on the way to New York and I'm like, what did I say? And I said, like, if he has someone in his life that can give him good advice, like Derek gave to the winners of season 18 of Big Brother, then he could do well. Little did I know he'd be getting advice from Russell Hantz. What the hell is that?
Caleb, listen to me. I got to tell you something. If you go out there, you vote out Sandra. Do it. Wax on, Caleb.
my
Wax
God.
off.
I wish I could
Sweep
be a
the
player in
floor,
the Wall
Caleb.
Street conversation.
McCaleb.
I would save so much money.
Why did you listen to me?
me?
I told you find an
How do they
idol.
even know each other?
I don't know what the connective tissue was. I don't know if it was somebody put them in touch or if he just I don't know if Russell Hantz reached out to everybody and Caleb was the only one who answered. I'm going to be your guardian angel. You listen to me. I teach you everything I know. Here's what you do. You get there.
God.
You find them dumbass girls. You find a blonde one. She's going to be your final 2. This is where it all happens, Caleb. You listen. And then you vote out Sandra.
Tony isn't like me.
Tony, he's not even that good.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say, but that was pretty interesting. But anyway,
then
thank
vote
you
out
so much for
Laura's
this week,
daughter.
Rob.
Yeah.
You need to have Russell.
They take
Okay,
Troy's
and you
hand
know,
socks and
remember-
throw them in the fire.
Are you gonna have Rupert on the podcast?
Yeah, he doesn't. He ghosted on me.
I know, but how would you even handle that? This would be so funny.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think it's time
people
for
need to
another
tell
Russell
Rupert
cast.
when he's live tweeting this week. Tell him he needs to go on Rob as a podcast.
All right. Everyone listening, tweet him that. We'll just mob him with that. But I think you should have Russell on. I do. I think you should tape it, see how it comes out, ask him nicely. Don't have a beverage, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then just get,
Yeah. Well, here's what I would do.
walk out the
I
whole
would reach out to Russell at the end of the season, because I think I'm pretty sure Russell is spoiled and I don't think he can control himself. And even I read his tweets sometimes and I'm a little bit I don't know. I don't know if his tweets are even necessarily spoiler free. And so, but I would consider at the end of this season talking to him about the season, like I did after Cagayan about Tony.
Okay, yeah, because it's time. We need him back in our, even just if it's a glitch of Russell. I feel like we need a little bit of it.
Yeah, I don't know if
I was all hyped up.
Mm-hmm. And again, I don't know if he likes me or dislikes me either.
To Heroes Villains.
At one point, he was listening to the podcast.
You?
I don't even like Robin's podcast.
I don't even like coffee.
Yeah, I don't even like coffee. I drink tea.
It's like he does a parody of himself on Twitter. I don't know what it's turned into.
I drink decaf.
Everyone's going downhill.
Yeah. But it would be interesting to hear from him. At one point, he was listening to the podcast, and around the time that it was Cagayan, he's listening to the podcast, and he texted me. And let me look and see what was the last text exchange I had with Russell Hantz. How long ago it was, but. He had texted me, or it's probably not even in this phone. I don't think I've heard from him since I switched phones. But basically, his text me was like, "I listened to the podcast. There's too many commercials." So that was his advice to me. So you need to have less commercials in the podcast. I don't even like commercials.
He's just always got a bitch. He's just such a bitch.
Oh, well, those are your words, not mine. Don't put words in my mouth. I got spies everywhere. I heard what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Russell can come after me on Twitter. I can handle it.
Okay. I don't want him to come and snatch my wig.
I love Russell, though. No, if people are listening, I truly do. That's why I want to hear him.
I'm a patron, Jen Manning.
He probably is.
Okay. All right. Well, Jen, thank you very much. I love any chance to talk about Russell.
I know. That was great. All right. Thanks, Rob. Have a good night.
Okay. All right. Take care. All right. Let me go back to the hangout.
Bye.
Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Who do we got? Who was here first? Okay, right. So I'm not sure what. And who's this?
Chris.
Chris, how's it going, Chris?
It's good. How are you?
Very good. Nice to hear from you, Chris. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to apologize for the whole Facebook thing.
Which Facebook thing?
I was trying to join the patron group, and I had emailed you 2 or 3 times, and you couldn't find me on Facebook.
Okay.
And it was because I had hidden my profile from coworkers that I wasn't too excited to friend on there.
Yeah,
and I had forgotten about it.
Yeah,
and I was, but
you're all good now.
Yeah. You and Alex helped out and got me on there, and I also wanted to say that I was really excited to join the Facebook groups, because especially after all the political commentary that I've seen on Facebook in the past couple of months, I've been more of a Twitter user. And then
That's no picnic from the political commentary either.
Yeah. But joining the Facebook groups and everything, and seeing the community that you've built, and how everybody is just so into all of the discussion and even the off topic.
Right. I appreciate that. And I know everybody has very, strong political opinions. These are very polarizing times. And that's why I do try to, I don't ever, tell anybody to ignore politics, but I just feel like that, there are many, many outlets for people to talk politics. And I just would like to keep what I'm doing as a place where, it's a little bit of a timeout from everything else that's going on politically. And I feel like that's probably, considering that, this is, Survivor is fun, even though Keith Nail says Survivor's not fun. That's what I would like, and as soon as somebody like starts talking about like their views, one way or the other, all of a sudden it just sort of like sucks the air out of everything and makes it, less fun, and people all just like really just like are ready to, go to war. So I appreciate that, Chris. Thank you.
And also, I've been listening to it for a long time, but I really, really enjoyed the Hunted podcast with the all the hunters.
Oh, good. Yeah. The one
behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah, the one with Lee and Hilmar, and then Teresa. That was the one bonus show. Yeah.
That was really cool.
But yeah, Hunted was very fun. I do hope it comes back. I thought we did a lot of good podcasts with Kurt and Liana, and then it was just a really fun show that everybody that was on the show was like listening to the podcast, and the people that were really into the show enjoyed the podcast. So I like those things where it's sort of like a like a win-win.
Yeah.
Did you have a specific question on anything, Chris?
No, not really. I mean, this is my first time calling in. I just want to say hi, and I feel for you and your Mets. I'm from Pittsburgh, so the Pirates haven't really done a whole lot.
They were getting there. It seemed like they were knocking at the door.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. I know it's tough. I've experienced that more with my football team. Of like, it looks like we're going in the right direction, and then all of a sudden starting to roll back down the hill.
Yeah. Luckily, though, I mean, I got my Pittsburgh Penguins, so I can't be too upset.
Yeah, and you got a pretty cool dog. Also, everybody's very fixated on the dog.
He's pretty awesome. His name's Oscar.
Hey, Oscar, like Ozzy.
Yeah, he's sleeping though. He had a long day.
Okay. All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for calling in. Glad we got you set up on the Patreon group.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Take care, buddy. Bye.
See ya.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to the phone lines and then Noah. Okay. Here is, I believe Garrett is on the line.
Yo, what's up, Rob? It's Garrett from PA.
Garrett Adelstein?
No, I'm a lot more taxed than Garrett Adelstein.
All right, Garrett from PA.
Some social skills, I think.
Okay. All right, Garrett. How you doing?
What's up, Rob? Almost Mets season. Let's go Mets.
Okay. Oh, a Mets fan in PA even.
Yeah, well, I've talked, like, last time I was on the Patroncast, we talked about the Jets. Since we talked about sports.
Yeah,
I
cool.
work for a New York sports team.
All right, so what are you in, like, Eastern Pennsylvania?
No, I go to Penn State.
Oh, okay, got it.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, we talked because I was out in LA for the Rose Bowl. We were talking about that last time.
Yeah. And what part of where are you from originally?
I'm from like the middle of nowhere, northern PA. Like basically, like I'm essentially upstate New York. Like, do you know where Elmira is in New York?
Yeah.
Corning.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like 20 minutes from there, like just across the border.
Okay, yeah. That sometimes when I would drive to Oswego, I would go through like Jersey and Pennsylvania to get to upstate New York.
Yeah.
So, all right.
The closest Survivor contestant to me is Wanda from Palau.
Oh, maybe Wanda can come up to Toronto.
Yeah.
What about Frank Garrison? Where does he live?
I never met her. I'm not sure, but I never met her. But like, I remember when she was on, and I was a fan back then. They're like, oh yeah, this teacher it's like a school district like an hour from me. They're like, yeah, she's on Survivor, and I was like, that's so cool. Then she was on for like 10 minutes. I was like, oh. But, oh well.
Okay.
Oh well.
All right, so Garrett, what's going on?
But yeah, no, not much. I'm really enjoying the News AF.
Oh, good.
News AF is probably the best hour of my week in podcast land.
That makes me really happy to hear that.
Yeah, like Tyson needs his own television show. I feel.
Yeah, I feel like that Tyson's been down on himself lately. He says that he's old and he's not cool anymore. So I hope he's not getting low self-esteem.
I think he needs to go back and play Survivor again.
Oh, that would be good.
Like, win some challenges. Like, probably get to the end. Maybe win. Like, get that self-esteem boost.
Yeah. But then he's gonna need to go again in like 2 years.
I mean, if you're winning $1 million every time, it's good business.
Yeah, but it gets harder. I think each time you're out, nobody's forgetting about him this time. He had to do bad a couple of times for people to start forgetting about him, or at least once.
Yeah, like I've had some friends who I have like introduced to Survivor, and like I always introduce them as heroes versus villains because I want them to like it. It's such a good season, and they're like, "That Tyson guy is an idiot," and I'm like, "He isn't," but I understand why you think that.
Yeah, I was trying to get my brother. He asked me, "What Survivor season should I watch?" I told him, "Watch Cagayan. You have to see Tony."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one. But like, I don't know. Like for me, I think like Harv is like the best player ever. So I'm always like, you got to watch this girl. Like she manipulates everybody. Like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to watch more. I think 10 people that just want to watch more Survivor.
Do you feel like you lose something? Like if somebody comes in and watches Heroes versus Villains first, like that they don't have the backstory on all the players?
I have like a document. This is kind of nerdy, but I have like a 10-page written document of like, this is what you need to know about all these players, like before going in HGV. Like to try to give them some background.
Like a dossier.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
That's pretty intense, Garrett.
And everyone gets so mad when Sandra wins. But, like, I mean, but
casual fans don't like her.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And I didn't like. I mean, I watched every episode from season 1, so I was like 6 years old. But like, I remember at the time, like season 20, I was probably like 15, 16, and I was like, how did she win? At that point, I liked Russell. Like as I've aged, like
that's right.
My like perspective on the game has changed. Yeah, and I still love Russell dearly, but like now, like I believe the jury can never be wrong. That's like my Survivor hot take. The jury can never be wrong.
I don't think it's that hot of a take.
Because like, how else? Like they were the ones out there. Like it's like saying the scoreboard with the points counted correctly is wrong. Like, well, no, it's not, because like that's how you keep score.
But sometimes that jury is wrong. Sometimes they get it wrong. It's flawed. It's a flawed jury.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I used to think that. Like, I used to be like, how could you not vote for Russell, vote for Natalie? But then, like, I think as I've aged, like, I realized that social connections are so important in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I think if there was a winter season of Survivor, my favorite, if she got on to win it, is Michelle Fitzgerald. I think she's like a top.
She'd be a great pick.
Player of all time.
She'd be a great pick in the all-winner season.
I think she's an elite player.
Yeah. I think she also feels like she's been wronged a little bit by a Survivor. I think she feels like a little bit like jaded. Yeah. She's got a chip on her shoulder. I like that.
Well, that actually kind of worries me, though, because I wanted to play like the same game. Like,
yeah, she's going to want to make big moves.
Yeah. No, she's Survivor little moves.
Yeah, she's gonna come in like with the Sierra Easton chip running, and she's gonna say, everybody thought that Aubrey was the best. Well, now I need to make big moves.
Yeah, I agree. Like she needs to keep the same game plan. She'll probably, I don't know if she'll probably win again, but she's gonna have as good a chance as anybody.
Yeah, nobody's coming. It's important to have nobody coming for you. That's a big thing.
Yeah, like I think she's a better Sandra. In a way that like that, Michelle offers some health and physical challenges at the start. So, like, I think her liability is less at the beginning.
Mhm.
Like, I think if you simmed 1,000 games of Survivor, I think Sandra would win a good bit, but like a lot of times she's out the first 3 boots. Unless it's a 3-tribe season or they go to 3 tribes, like, there's almost always going to be a weaker girl or a couple weaker people than Michelle in your tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ironically, though, they say that like if the beauty tribe would have went to the first tribal council, she might have been the person that went home.
Well, I mean, that's what I said. I mean, it's a 3-tribe, and the 2 other girls were like pretty good in challenges too. So,
Okay.
like, there wasn't a dead weight, if that makes sense.
I hear you. All right, so Garrett's ready for the all-winner season. Start writing that dossier so the casuals can watch it.
Aren't we all ready for the all-winner season though? Like, is there one Survivor fan who's like, I don't want to see Richard Hatch play again?
Yeah. I think we're ready for all-winner season. Why not? I've said my prediction has been before season 40. If season 40, between now and the end of season 40, we'll have an all-winner season.
40 is a strong candidate for the all-winner season.
Yeah.
But you have to go back and win, and then you can play.
No, Tyson can go and win again, and he can take my spot.
You, Tyson, final 3. You, Tyson, final 2, final 3. And they cast Danny Bryson for season 37. He wins. You, Tyson, Danny, final 3. You guys make a mockery of the jury question, and they have to vote for one of you.
Okay, that's good. I like it. Then we all have to say like, hey, it's Money in the Bank. We got to vote for one of us.
Yeah. No, it'd be great. It'd be a great final 3.
Yeah, and then we could just plug News AF the whole time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you could have News AF at the thing. Oh my gosh, it'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, Garrett, thank you so much for the call. Okay, good to hear from you, buddy.
Yeah. Take care. Let's
yes,
go, Matt.
and let's go, Christian Hackenberg, right?
Yeah. Heck's my boy.
I remember. Okay. All right. Take care, buddy.
The guy you gotta watch out for is Saquon Barkley. He'll be a top 5 pick in the draft next year. Running back. The kid is a freak. Like, he's not a human being.
Okay. All right. Well, don't worry. The Jets will be picking in the top 5, so that'll be good. All right.
I'll link you the highlights in the Facebook group of Saquon Barkley. You have to watch it.
All right. Sounds good, Garrett. All right. Take care, buddy.
All right. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right. Let's go to Noah.
Hello.
How you doing?
I didn't have a puppy, so I brought my.
Wait, hold on. What is this? So that you have a. This looks like. This looks like the thing that Eugene had in his pocket on The Walking Dead, Grengly Gronk.
See, now this is the thing. That every time we talk, you bring up a show I don't watch.
Okay. So what is it? Well, what are you showing me? You're showing me is a Georgetown voodoo doll?
No, have you never watched Community?
Oh, okay. Yes. So what is this?
This is the Greendale human being. This is the mascot. No, I just didn't have a thing to show because the guy before had a puppy.
Got it. Sorry, that I'm a little bit out of the community loop, but yeah. So now it's all coming back to me.
There's no community loop. That's a show that had a legacy and then it brought everything down. But I remember the good days.
Yes. Okay. So what's going on?
I'm good. School back in Boston.
Yeah. Did you have fun at the know-it-alls?
Yeah, I thought the actual show was the best I've been to. Like, it was a really good podcast. I thought there was less like interruptions. It wasn't as messy.
Are you saying there was a connection that Eliza wasn't at this one?
No, I love it when Eliza's there. I think if you're not there, it doesn't translate as well, probably.
Yeah. My mom said to me on Thursday, she said, I thought this was such a good show, and there was no obscene language this time, and no yelling from the audience.
Yeah, we were also on our best behavior, I think.
Yeah, my mom is not an Eliza fan at the live shows. She just finds her to be very disruptive.
I think Eliza is really fun, like, after the show, too, so I didn't like it that she wasn't there.
Yeah.
She's really nice to everyone. Like, she likes to engage in conversations.
Oh, certainly, yeah. It just doesn't play as well for like. I try to think of the audience that's not there. Like it's not a big deal for the audience that's in the room, but I think like it's like, okay, Eliza is yelling stuff, and the people on the podcast can't hear what she's saying, and this is just like disruptive. You know, that's more the issue for me.
Yeah, but it was like less. I think maybe less people went on stage. So except for like the Billy Garcia moment, which was, I can't believe he was there. I never like react to anyone, but then I was like walking by and I was like, oh my God, you're Billy Garcia. I've never reacted like that to any Survivor. He was very excited that I was excited.
Yeah, people on YouTube really love him.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun that he was there. He got a little crazy, but like that was fun. So it was a really good show. Sophie was great.
He is a very good like 9:58 guest.
Okay, like at the last minute, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean?
Even though the people on YouTube say he needs to be on earlier in the show, that I think that 9:58 is really, that's his time slot.
Yeah, that you can like, okay, now we're done.
Like, all right, that's all right. Because I think once you get him on the stage, you can't get him off the stage. I think that's part of the issue also.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Steven, if that's okay. So I love Steven.
I like him.
He's fine. He's okay. One of my favorite players. I just wanted to know if you think that it's different to podcast with him after Cambodia. Like, is he different? I feel like his opinions are different. He's much more like, you can never know. Everything's a good move. Everything's a bad move. Like
that's his opinion post Cambodia.
Yeah, I feel like something's different.
Yeah.
Don't know it all.
First off, let me say, and I think that's a very good question. I think Steven is a lot better on the podcast post Cambodia. I felt like that there were times pre Cambodia that I feel like that Steven was a little more aloof, and maybe sort of like, I don't want to say half-hearted about the podcast, but I have found him to be, since he's come back from Cambodia, much more engaged and much more like I feel like he takes it a lot more serious after being back on the show. I don't know. I can't put my finger on why, but I definitely have found that he has been really, I've enjoyed doing the shows with him a lot more since he's come back from Survivor. I think it's been like, I think that he probably before was like, okay, this person's an idiot, this person is dumb. And I do think that you're right, that he has been much more willing to give the benefit of the doubt on certain things. I mean, that in our conversations, like since he's played, he's told me like there are a million different strategic decisions that go into every day. None of it can be captured by what you see on the show. What you see ultimately is one person's opinion of what happened. But like he talks about the second chance season where there was like, 10 million conversations happening, say at like the merge when Cass goes home. Nothing, yes, everything that happened on the show happened, but you could have told that story, so many different ways. They make one person look good. If you go home, you're the idiot. And it's far more complicated than could ever be shown on TV.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like he's a lot more engaged. I agree. Like he's more into it. Like he cares more. He's like, I don't know, more into the community. Like he's having like viewing parties in Providence and stuff. Like I guess that's because of JT, but I don't know. In general,
yeah, I didn't really understand why he was doing that. When we were going to be delayed on the first time, I was like, why? Why you let's just start the podcast. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But he was excited. And he's in Providence now, so he I think wanted to at least be a member of the community up there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but I mean it's fun that he's much more animated during the shows.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like he's less likely to have an opinion that he's standing by and criticizing. He's not criticizing as much, and sometimes it's like, okay, you're doing this podcast, this is you're supposed to be, I don't know, judging people. That's fine. It's okay to do that. Yeah.
I feel like he was probably a little bit more flip before. Yes, he was probably like more willing to call somebody out before, but I also feel like he was a little bit more like, and this person is a stupid idiot. Like I feel like he was more likely to have that take prior to going out, and I think he's probably a little more thoughtful about, you know, how because I think he went through the experience of going back and playing and then having perhaps myself and maybe other people on Twitter talking about, oh, we saw this 5 seconds of Steven trying to break a stick and he couldn't do it, so he is stupid and doesn't know what he's talking about.
Forgot about that sleepover after the premiere.
Yeah.
That wasn't okay.
So I think he probably a little bit was like, oh, he like sort of like had the experience of like, okay, I know what it's like to also be out there, have things not shown about me, and then also know that people like don't know what they're talking about who are out there.
Yeah.
People that are out there on social media and Reddit talking out of the like they are authorities and they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about what we're seeing. That's all we can talk about. So
right. So I do think that he came away from his experience being a little more sensitive to the people that are out there, saying like, hey, I have to give this person somewhat. Okay, exit interviews are still not canon, but let me give this person at least the benefit of the doubt that there's probably a lot more going on there than I'm able to see on TV.
No, I agree that I just thought he was different. I wanted to see what you were thinking about it. I don't know if like everything is for the worse or for the better. I think like he switched some stuff.
I think it's better. I really do. And I love Stephen Fishback, and you know, that he is one of my you know, great friends, you know, in and out of you know, Survivor. And you know, I really do you know, think so highly of him. And you know, it's been really great over these like last few years where, you know, I didn't really know Stephen particularly well when we started podcasting. He was more of an acquaintance, but you know, it's he's really become you know, a great friend, and it's so fun to do the podcast with him.
No, he's awesome. I really enjoy Steven. Don't think that I'm not
getting it twisted.
Okay, good. Can I ask one little short question?
Sure.
So do you know who Jason Everett is? He was like
Everett.
a producer on Entertainment Weekly a long time ago, and then on TV Line. I don't know if he's still working for them. It's like he was always doing the videos for all the shows.
Okay.
So he was like, I was wondering, because I once tweeted that I wanted you to like do something together, because he's really, really funny. He's like a really good video editor, and he used to do like the American Idol shows on TV Line and Entertainment Weekly. And I know he listens to the show. I was wondering if there's like a way to incorporate some like video thing or something that's like more produced than just like the live podcasts or things that are being.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, it's tricky. I'm sure there are, you know, it's just a question of like would the juice be worth the squeeze on something like that? Yeah, I used to attempt to do like at one point I was like, okay, well maybe I need to do like a 3-minute like video version of the podcast. And I think during Blood versus Water, I was going to do like basically like a short version of it. And I didn't find that they performed very well. I felt like that people were more interested in like, if somebody cares about Survivor enough to watch something else, they want to hear like a long form conversation and really do a deep dive. The person who doesn't care that much about Survivor like isn't going to go watch a 3-minute video. So
the TV Line like American Idol thing was around 10 minutes every week, and maybe 15. And I at some point stopped watching American Idol, and I know a lot of people just kept watching their like show. Yeah, he's really, really funny, really good at it. And I think he likes Survivor more than he likes American Idol. He was doing that with like Michael Slezak, and I'm sure he was working on, I know he was working on like the Lost stuff that was on Entertainment Weekly like years ago. Doing right now, it's just like, that's something I would really love, like to see him doing Survivor stuff, and I feel like that could be a good collaboration.
Yeah. Feel free to make an introduction on Twitter and let's see where it goes.
I'll try.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Who did you want to have on the podcast this season?
As a guest for the recaps. I enjoyed Michelle. I would like to hear Misfits again, especially with all the Korong people.
Mm-hmm.
I always love Cass. We already had Cass. I don't know. On the spot. Oh, I wanted the Codys.
John and Candace.
Yeah.
Okay. On the same
Is that happening?
on the same show?
Yeah, is that happening this week?
All right. Well, let me see. Let me see what I can do.
We had this conversation before.
Okay. All right. All right.
You're writing this down. Okay, I get it.
All right. Great to chat again.
Yes,
Okay. Give my best to the Greendale human being.
I will. Good night.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Take care now. Okay. I got one more call here on the line. Who's this? Who's going to bring
Mr. Ronald?
Oh, Mr. Ronald. Mr. Ronald, where have you been?
Is Katie there?
Yes. Who's Katie? Katie Collins?
No, Katie. I got a call from Katie.
Katie.
I don't know.
Yes.
Early Divine, you know?
Well, this is how old is that? That's like from one of the first when we maybe first started doing voicemails.
That was the last time I called the Patroncast, Rob.
Wow. What have you been doing? What did we do? Were we earlier tonight? Was this better timing for you?
No, I don't know. I just called like the last half of it.
You just had nothing to say for 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Ronald's a busy guy.
Okay. Did you have fun at Know It Alls, Paul?
Yeah, I did. It was good seeing you. You've done great things there. So a great community. It's always a fun time.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's going on?
Well, I'm working on something, and I figured I'd just call you directly. You rattle off some of your winner picks over the last few years, and if you happen to remember any Nicole's.
Do I remember all the winner picks?
No, not all of them, but just the ones that you remember.
I think
you got. I know you got picked Denise.
Yes.
Denise. I mean, the ones you got wrong. So.
Do you have the list? Are you quizzing me, or you want to know?
No, I'm just the ones that you remember.
Yeah. All right. So since we started doing picks, I think I picked Marty in Nicaragua. I think I picked Andrea in Redemption Island. In South Pacific, I don't remember who I picked in that season. Yeah, I'm really maybe Jim Rice. I really don't remember who I might have picked in that season. In One World, I picked Bill Posley, famously. In the Philippines, I picked I don't think I even remember who I picked. Oh, Denise. That was the one time I got it right. Yeah. And then I think I picked Brenda in Caramoan. I picked Rachel in Blood versus Water. I picked in Cagayan. I picked Sarah Lucina.
Sarah.
In San Juan del Sur, I picked Reed. I picked Shireen in Worlds Apart. I picked Sierra Easton in Second Chances. I picked Anna Kate in Korong. I picked Chris Hammonds in Millennials versus Gen X. And then I picked Ozzy.
And Ozzy this
year.
Yeah. I can't believe you blew me away. I can't believe you remembered all those.
Yeah, I don't remember who I picked in South Pacific, though.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And then I was going to ask for Big Brother, but I can't believe you remember all them.
I'm trying to think of what for Big Brother. Well, I think I picked Danielle Murphy in Big Brother in Big Brother 14 originally, and then I switched to Dan once the coaches came in, and then in Big Brother 15 I did pick Andy. In Big Brother 16, I don't even remember Big Brother 16. I couldn't tell you who I picked.
It's all
there.
good. I'm going to go back and double check them, but I figured I'd be able to.
Yeah.
You'd be able to knock out a few of them.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And Paul, anything else?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
That's about it. Okay.
How about you got any good stories for when you got home? And Nicole have anything
no, she
to
wasn't.
say?
Nicole's been very nice. Nicole's been very nice lately. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's still liking the beard or what. Nicole's been in a very good mood for a couple of weeks. That she has not been maybe it's like because I've let her sleep long enough that she has been very nice these last couple of weeks. I don't know what it is. Maybe she's having an affair.
So that's good to hear.
Yeah. But yeah, she's been in a good mood. I don't want to jinx it.
Or check the laundry for some underwear.
I'm going to. Yeah, I don't know what exactly. I can't put my finger on it, but maybe because none of the kids have been sick. I think that's been I don't know what exactly it is, but so far so good.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good.
All right, take care, buddy.
All right, thank you a lot.
All right, hold on. I got one more person is on the line. Who's calling now?
Josh Leamer.
Hey, Josh Leamer. Okay. All right, Josh. Here you are. You just snuck in under the wire.
Hey, Rob.
How you doing, buddy?
I know. I just got off work, and so I realized this was going on. So called at the last minute. Sorry to extend your time in case you needed to pee or anything.
No, I'm doing okay. I didn't drink that much water. Like I know when I'm going to go into the Patroncast. I don't drink a lot of water in the afternoon. Try to. I mean,
sorry,
it's not my first rodeo. It's my 36th.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, so I haven't listened to any of the.
Only one
the
pee break
recipes.
in 36
I don't know what
Patroncast. I will add.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But on another note, so the only thing I heard in the Patroncast was this last call about your winner picks. You said you didn't remember South Pacific. I'm like 80% sure just that you picked Cochrane.
Maybe
going into South Pacific.
Maybe that sounds right.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Because I think you kind of got like a reputation as like, oh, Rob always picks like the nerdy guy or the nerdy girl for a little while there. I think that was one of them going into it.
Yeah.
So,
I was a big Cochrane supporter in Survivor South Pacific. I feel like that, I don't think Cochrane remembers, the little people along the way. I think I was maybe one of his few defenders in Survivor South Pacific.
I mean, he doesn't even, stay in contact with people that were on the jury that voted to give him $1 million. So, I mean, like, you shouldn't feel alone for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going to ghost Malcolm, who, like,
yeah,
threw him a softball jury question and helped him win a unanimous vote, then,
yeah, well, now Malcolm is not even dateable, so Cochrane probably won't even, even give him the time of day.
I know. His jury question where he said, would you hang out with me at the bar? I think Cochrane's going to have to rephrase that one now.
Yeah.
No, I would not sit with you at the bar.
No, I would not.
Merge boot. You have to sit in the corner with Kat.
Poor Malk.
So, oh well. This is so I just I don't really have any specific question, but I kind of wanted to talk about my kind of the feeling. I've been watching all these shows since when they first came out in 2000, and I'm kind of fearful of something with this season.
Okay.
So I would say so back in the day, there was this very unfortunate trend with the all-star seasons of these CBS reality shows where just all the good people went out early, and the people that when you first looked at the cast list, you said that person probably shouldn't have deserved to make it on the at all. And I mean, obviously, Survivor All Stars is probably forefront in the mind from that. And and obviously, you could definitely make a case that Amber was probably the last person they called for the female side, and just because of placement, Boston Rob was probably the last man. So like the final two, you know, was not that great. And then in Big Brother All Stars, you had like good people like Will get like close, but in the final two was like Erica and Boogie, who like probably didn't deserve to be there in the first place.
Right.
And then the Amazing
Mike
Race
Boogie
All-Star
did play a really strong game in the Big Brother All Stars. I hear what you're saying about Erica, but
sure, but so did Amber. Like, and then, but I'm talking about like looking into it beforehand, like just like regardless of how well they played in the All Star season, like the people that didn't deserve to be there. And then, I think you could say the same about Parvy and Amanda. Great game in that season, but maybe they didn't deserve to be. And so similarly, so I was really, really upset with like the way that all these All-Star things were going. And then also the Amazing Race All-Stars, like, you probably don't remember this, but like the winner was like a team that wasn't even really a team. It was like the team of like, there was
Eric
like a
Sanchez,
pair of brothers and then like these two sorority. Yep. Eric, that's exactly it. And he
Dirty
was
Sanchez.
with, like, the girl that was also on that season. Yeah. And so like, that was like, I was like, holy crap. Like even after like Micronesia, it was like, is this going to be doomed to be this way forever? Where it's just like the people that are cast in these all-star seasons are just going to be, the last person you would have picked is going to make it to the end. And the boot order is going to be tragic. And I think, in the post-Survivor 20 era, it seems like, okay, it seems like they turned it around, with heroes versus villains and all that stuff. But I have the feeling, just based on the way that just going through 4 episodes and what we've seen go out so far, and that we might be due for a return to that. And then I don't know anything, but like just like the fact.
Well, let me
that
give you
it
a
just
hot
seems
take,
like,
Josh. How about this?
Sure.
What if it never changed? What if it always was that way? But Heroes versus Villains was such an outlier in that Sandra, even though she was a winner, people thought of her as a why is she even here person. And Russell Hantz, nobody even knew who he was. So in the minds of the players, he was also a why is he even here? I guess Parvati is the only person that you thought was like a legitimate threat who ends up going really far in that game. Jerry Manthe might have been, one of the least intimidating players who gets to the Final Four in that season. Colby turns out, while he's a big-time deal in Australia, he's like a 0 in terms of the game in Heroes versus Villains. What if it's always been this way?
Well, that's a different way to look at it. I think that's a little bit, harder to say about, like, you can't say that about Tyson. You can't say that about Jeremy and Spencer.
Well, the thing the difference I think was that Heroes versus Villains though was such a stacked lineup that it didn't even matter what order people went out. You're gonna have good people at the end. This season, if it goes down that way, like some of these other seasons that you mentioned, you're inviting trouble when you have a top heavy roster for a season. So
you're right. Yeah.
You make a point like, was it worthwhile bringing, like when Tony is, forget how Tony even played in this game, where, he's 5x a bigger threat than, the person, like who's
Don Thomas.
Right. Then is that even, are you inviting this to happen?
Yeah, I think that might be a flaw. Because it's almost like, and it's kind of debating. Cause it's like, is it better to, would I have rather just seen like a season where it's just like kind of some sort of second chance type thing, where it's just kind of the people being given another shot who didn't, have show so much, or am I just like happy to have 2 episodes of Tony, even though it's like, it breaks my heart to see him and Malcolm like go out so early. Like, is it worth it to even like have had them on in the first place, or would it be better just to, to keep those groups separated? And like, I don't know.
There's a long way to go before we get to the autopsy of the season. But then I think a valid question to ask might be, even if you only had 10 All-Stars that were worth bringing back, then maybe you should have just done a fans versus favorites.
I can never advocate for fans versus favorites, but
Tony's not getting voted out second in fans versus favorites, though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And maybe if the fan, like, if they saved it and like you had fans who were on, you know, the type of fans that we saw in Millennials versus Gen X, as opposed to
Right,
being
super
cannon
fans
fodder
versus
type
favorites.
People,
Right.
know, you can't. No more Shamar Thomases, please.
Right.
Like your glass and your sand in your eye, or whatever. Like then the seven, like the five, like nameless girls.
Yeah.
That were in the Cool Kids Alliance, or all that crap.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wanted to be talked off the ledge, but I don't know. I think I'm just worried.
Yeah.
About it. But we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Well, Josh, great to hear from you. That hopefully this is just a premature postmortem.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So, I mean, as long as somebody in there is strong, because I mean, I kind of was like, okay, there's like 9 people who were like legit, like, legendary-ish players, and then like there's a bunch of riffraff, and I'm like, oh man, I'm getting flashback vibes like 2004.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're back. So,
Heard that. Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see.
Okay. All right, Josh.
We'll see.
You take care, buddy. Okay.
So, thanks, Rob.
Okay.
Alrighty. Bye.
All right. Scott, I said I was going to go to you like an hour and a half ago. You still there?
I am here.
You didn't fall asleep with your eyes open at the chair or anything like that?
Sometimes, but
Okay. How did we do tonight, Scott? This was like a late rally on the Patroncast.
Yeah.
I thought that we were like pretty much done right before we talked to like Mike from Boston, and then all of a sudden we did like another like hour and 20 minutes or so of calls.
Yeah, about 7:45. I thought we were 7:45 my time. Anyhow, we were about to wrap up. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Speaking of RHAP ups, Scott,
yes.
We got so much going on the RHAP up. Scott's been so busy. We even launched a new Dancing with the Stars RHAP up.
Yes, it's been well received. I tell you, Angela and Kelly are doing great work there. And
Does Edmo like it?
Edmo loves it. Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
Good.
And we just dropped the second episode recap a couple minutes ago.
Yes. Oh wow. How about that?
Yes.
Also, Big Brother Canada is cruising along, and I'm very excited to bring my Amazing Race talents to the RHAP ups as well.
Yes, we have 4 episodes a week of Big Brother Canada. We have the 3-episode recaps plus the exit interviews, so quite a bit. And then, Amazing Race is coming back this weekend. So the season on CBS, by the way, started off with the show called Pure Genius. Do you remember that one?
Pure Genius.
Thursday night at 10. Exactly. You cannot remember it, which is why it quickly got taken off the air and replaced with Training Day.
Yes.
Do you remember Training Day?
Well, yes, but and the problem was that one of the actor who was in Training Day, Bill Paxton, died, right? And then that's why.
Yeah, the ratings weren't that great for it, better than Pure Genius. So they, with Bill Paxton fortunately passing away, they've moved it to Saturdays.
This is like the cursed time slot.
Let it die. So they actually think that the Amazing Race with its fans, its fan base is actually going to do well no matter where it is, or do as well no matter where it is. So, and they can't really put it back on Fridays because they got the MacGyver McGarrett thing going on right now, where they do all their promotions for McGarrett's, of course, is the character on Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, I didn't know this, Scott.
Yes, so they got the MacGyver,
Yes,
and then
Whisperer.
And then Blue Bloods. Because I am old, Rob, as we've discussed before. CBS is my network, right? So
yeah. Okay. Do you watch MacGyver?
I do not watch MacGyver.
Okay.
Actually, I watch Hawaii Five-0 and Blue Bloods after it, but
so you come in after, so they could get Amazing Race back in there for you. They'd have you the whole.
I tell you, it's a great night for me. Absolutely. Plus Shark Tank and a couple other shows. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, and Scott, again, thank you for all your hard work while we were in New York, keeping the podcast rolling.
Yeah, my pleasure. Absolutely.
I don't know what I would do if I went on these trips and then I just came home with like a laptop full of podcasts.
You'd be having a good time editing, not getting sleep. Yeah, I don't know.
And getting complaints from people. Hey, when are those podcasts that you did in New York going to go up?
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that, Scott.
No problem.
All right. Anything else that I forgot?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
that they covered everything. Toronto was the big
Well,
one.
let me look at the patron Facebook group real quick to see what's going on. Okay.
And yeah, I'd be happy to accompany Nicole and be her caddy. And Kayla should just stick to being talents. The talent always thinks they can do everything, but the talent just be talent.
Yeah. Not my Nicole, Scott.
Oh, not your Nicole. Okay.
She is thinking that you can do everything. That's
okay.
That's you can walk a mile on my show. Oh, News AF is up even, Scott. Nice work.
News
with
AF is
that.
up. Yeah, News AF is up as well.
Okay. All right. Scott, do I need a passport before I come to Canada in May?
Yes, you do need a
Okay, I need
passport.
to renew my passport. I got one when I went on Survivor and I let it expire.
Oh, that's a while ago.
Okay, yeah. All right.
You've not left the country since then?
I did, but then 10 years went by and then my passport expired.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I have not left the United States since 2011.
Wow. Crazy.
I'm sorry. I did leave in 2012. I left in the summer of 2012. I went with my mom. We went on a vacation.
Excellent.
But it's been a while.
Well,
Then
Toronto's great. Even though I make fun of it a lot, I think everyone's going to have a great time.
Yes.
That's for sure.
All right. Well, speaking of a great time, great Patroncast. Maybe one of the longest that we've done. Great calls and very fun to get into everything. If there's anything I missed, feel free to reach out anytime. Rob has a website. .com. So it takes me a little while to get back to you, but I try to get back to everybody that does reach out to me. And again, those tickets, patrons only, are at robswebsite.com/tickets. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Bye.